All right, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Sorry I'm late. Had some wild stuff happen, but we're here now, and it is going to be opening with an ogre, an ogre mirror match, which is going to be super, super interesting. I think this is like the golden goose of matchups because I don't know if we've ever had an ogre mirror matchup on the channel. So hey, man, let's fire it off. Let's have some fun. Let's get it going, and yeah. So yeah, apologies for being late. I was sitting outside. I was just having my my lunch before the stream started, and an older gentleman came by, and seemed lonely and sad. He told me his wife had just passed away, so I chatted with him for a while, and yeah, here we are. It's time, man. Yeah, ogres. It's all ogre now. Yes. Let's get it started. No, don't do it. Oh my God! Did you chainsaw your neighbor attempt to attack you? What? It's okay, Martin. No worries, man. No worries. It's here. We're going to find out who the champion of the Great Maw is. So today we have Outer Region. He's, of course, top player on the leaderboard. I believe he's in the top 3, if not number 1. I think he's number 2 at the moment on the leaderboard. Yeah. So he's going to be sitting here hanging out with his Tyrant facing off against Ash 007, who is going to be rocking a Slaughtermaster. So in terms of the build variants, let's take a look and see what the differences are between these two mighty players. So looking over at Outer Region, he has the extremely meta front line of Noblar Trappers, which are just so cost-effective. Really good fighters, surprisingly. You know, you wouldn't think they are, but those little gremlins do it pretty well. And in the secondary line, he's going to be rocking basic Ogre Bulls, which makes sense. I think they're probably the most cost-effective. You don't want dual weapons here, and the shielded variant is okay. You know, it'll help a little bit against Noblar Trappers, but overall, probably just like saving money and just getting the baseline Ogre Bulls is going to be the best. I do have an Iron Blaster. Iron Blasters are awesome. One of my favorite units on the Ogre roster. They pack a huge punch. If a large character gets caught out in the open and gets nuked right in the old face, you remember the olden days when Iron Blasters used to like 3 or 4 shot a great unclean one? Pepperidge Farm remembers. So he's here with an Iron Blaster and a Tyrant and a Slaughtermaster, I would imagine. Now looking at Ash's army, Ash is a very, very different army. Actually a full Noblar battle line, right? So we got mass Noblars into the sunset, backed up by a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw, but it's going to be a Cav-centric build. So it's going to be more of a Crusher, Mournfang style of play. And yeah, look, we got Sky Striders, and we do also have the Crushers with great weapons. Man, this is a big, heavy-hitting Cav build. These things are expensive. Sky Striders cost like 2,400 gold, and these guys are, you know, somewhere in the same ballpark. But the Iron Blaster rips into him, immediately taking down one of the Crushers as it does advance, trying to chase the Ogres. Those Ogres are like, all right, leave them to the Noblars. That's a classic Ogre Kingdoms tactic, right? They're just going to let the Noblars get wrecked, but it looks like the Crushers do get into combat. I think like blitzing into the Iron Blaster wouldn't be a bad idea. Allowing that thing to shoot for any prolonged period of time is going to be an absolute disaster, right? So here we see the Iron Blaster still getting good shots. Noblars are getting wrecked by the Sky Striders. I mean, who's surprised about that? And it looks like Ash is going to be grabbing control of 2 objectives out of the gate. So we're going to see objectives 2 and objective 3 probably going to Ash and the Sky Strider build. So the builds are at least very different, which is good. Although, I don't know what kind of value we're going to be seeing on these Crushers if they keep getting shot. It looks like there is some line of sight issues for the Iron Blaster. If we really zoom down to the hill here, you're able to see that it has to move up and get in range. And it is going to be getting in range here. And firing, fire, reload, fire, point blank shot. Kind of misses right there against all those Sky Striders and Crushers. But they do manage to rout the forces of Outer Region, right? So we do see the Ogre Bulls and Noblars breaking and some HP paid for here. I do think, honestly, with that Sky Strider brick, although there are Man-Eaters with great weapons now, so you have to be careful about those. Those are going to be a problem. Hey, Swedish, thank you for becoming a channel member. The Swedish Crusader, thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard, my friend, and we are going to keep it rolling here for you today in today's SFT. 2 objectives, 2 Ash. Battle very, very close in terms of just pure value. Outer Region could be in a little bit of danger. These Crushers are a problem. Burning Head going down, so it looks like Outer Region did not bring a healer. Okay, no healer for Outer Region. As a matter of fact, he goes for a Fire Belly. Uh-oh. I love this. We get the Dismember going down, and now the Crushers are going to be charging in. The other Sky Strider is going to be diving after the Iron Blaster. But Outer Region does have about 1,200 saved up, which means he's going to be able to call in a Man-Eater with great weapons most likely. These Crushers, though, taking a bit of a beating against the Man-Eaters with great weapons, but he does get on top of the Iron Blaster. Let's see what kind of damage these guys are actually going to do. So these are, I believe, just regular Mournfang Cav here. So he has 2 Crushers and Mournfang Cav as well. He does get back here and surrounds the Iron Blaster a little bit, but it still is able to squeak away. It has good mass, so it can certainly push well. But Ash is doing quite well with the aggression, pushing with all these little Noblar Trappers and getting the Ninja Stars to be thrown into the Man-Eaters with great weapons. That is really, really where the bread is going to be won. Sky Striders on the other side, bashing through the Ogre Bulls. And now they've engaged against the Ogre Tyrant. Tyrants are very durable and do have passive healing, so you got to watch out for that. And the Mournfang Cav going to be retreating away from the Iron Blaster, which did get some reinforcements. The Man-Eaters with Great Weapons were called in to reinforce that position, and they are going to be hunting the Mournfang pack there, which then just rear charges into the Man-Eaters with Great Weapons. A very, very good call. You know, get a nice sandwich there, break that position. But looking at the points, we do see Man-Eaters with Great Weapons being called in by Ashe as well. Now remember, Ashe's side of the build does have healing, and Outer Region does not. So no healing for our boy Outer Region here today, as we do see him on the back foot pretty heavily. He is up by about 600 value, but with one, that's like one Troll Guts. One Troll Guts on a Crusher is basically like around that much value. The Man-Eaters of Outer Region getting nailed by the Ninja Stars, and we do see the Mournfang Cav, the Sky Striders, excuse me, the Crusher ROR here, able to break down this position. The Tyrant is barely holding the ground here. Now this would be a huge blunder by Ashe. If you let Outer Region take this objective with just one Secret Agent Nobblar, that is a huge, huge mistake that could cost you the game, because against a player like Outer Region, he often will find ways to grind value back against you, so you really want to kind of pinch him on points too and make sure that he's not able to do that. But Ashe seems very aware, and Ashe is going to be calling in some basic Ogre Bulls as well as these Saber Tusks. So the Saber Tusks is going to be running to the middle, getting ready to hunt down the old Nobblar Trappers, and they should be able to take them, especially with the Tattered Mournfang Cav moving in. So overall, very, very good fight for the forces of Ashe. The Crusher army, the mobile Ogre army, seems to have the advantage here, I would say. Very healthy units of Crushers and Sky Striders hanging out here. A couple Man-Eaters are going to be moving in, but the Man-Eaters will even struggle against Sky Striders. Sky Striders are super elite. They have an insane HP pool. Iron Blaster is definitely the big saving grace that maybe can grind some value back over the course of a long game. It is sitting at about 1,000 value right now. But, yeah, I don't know. Not as much as you would have thought it would get at this point. So the middle is stabilized. It looks like the Ogre Bulls do arrive. And it is a triple cap. Not triple cap, but it is 2 caps right now. And it looks like there is going to be an attempt at a triple cap, as we have some Nobblars from Ashe moving towards Objective 1 to try and go grab that bad boy. So looking at Dose here, Mournfang Cav with Great Weapons hanging out. Saber Tusks also nibbling away. And the Ogre Tyrant is one of the big anchors here for Outer Region. Guy's an absolute Chad sitting there and not taking any prisoners, as him and his Great Weapon boys able to get the job done. Value about 700, and he does have passive healing, right? Yeah, I think it's when he's in melee, so he has to be in combat. He has the snack, so I guess he's just got some he's got some Twinkies in his trousers, and he just eats those, and it heals him over the course of the combat. Now, big macro look at the battlefield. Objectives 2 and 3 belong to Ashe. Objectives Uno belong to Outer Region, but for how long is the question, right? Because Outer Region is definitely behind on value now. So the problem is when you fall behind on value, it becomes harder to contest multiple areas on the battlefield, because in order to stay in the game and contest value, you have to commit to the main fight. So then that opens up opportunities for, you know, players in Ashe's position to just grab these side objectives, which is going to be happening right now. So Ogre Bull's going to be running across after the Nobblars, and we do see the Nobblars here grabbing Objective 1. The Mournfang Crusher style, really fun stuff, but is Outer Region going to be able to find a way back? Ashe is up 7.1 against 6.8. In the secondary here, we do see Man-Eaters with Great Weapons from both sides, just kind of duking it out. But this Man-Eater is doing great work. Now this belongs to Ashe. It's probably going to be pounding this Fire Belly down, taking down these Iron Fists. Depends on the Nobblar saturation, but we'll have to see. And here, this is a huge loss for Outer Region. And it doesn't seem like he has the tools to protect it right now. It looks like his Iron Blaster potentially going to be breaking and routing off the battlefield. It does get caught by the Saber Tusks. Get the Pocket Sand, yes. But the Saber Tusks are able to nibble this thing down. They do have really fast speed, although they are dismembered right now. A little bit too late on the dismember, though. Yeah, it's going to last 20 seconds, maybe allow the Iron Blaster to get some distance. But the Iron Blaster, is it going to rally here? I don't know. Outer Region looks like he might be able to ninja this objective number 3, but there is another Man-Eater with Great Weapons called in here by Ashe. And up at the high ground at this point is being slowly stolen by Ashe as well. But Outer Region may be able to contest it. We'll have to see. Ogre Bulls and Trappers are out, so they should be able to win that fight. So it's going to be important for Ashe to try and hold this objective here, and I think they will. I think this Man-Eater Great Weapon is going to be able to take these this Tyrant as well as these Ogre Bulls to Pound Town. A couple of Nobblars do arrive, and you can see that does keep the objective from flipping right there, so very good stuff. Now back on Objective 2, what do we got? Objective Dose. Not being contested at all. We do have the Slaughtermaster on its way in. The Slaughtermaster seems reasonably healthy, and I believe the Slaughtermaster does have some passive healing with the Blood Cleaver, so it is able to heal in combat, just like the Tyrant. And one of the powerful things about Ogre characters in general, they do that quite well. But yeah, these Man-Eaters are just giga-chatting it. Looks like there's going to be a Burning Head coming down. That's going to be a nice one, but really, I mean, it's going to get like, I don't know, like 100 value. Yeah, nothing too crazy. It is good for clearing out mass Nobblars, though, which then allows your Ogres to win, because your Ogres have chaff and theirs don't. That's kind of the idea of his build, but these Man-Eaters, man, they're so advantaged against basic Ogre Bull units. But I guess little Nobblars in there of outer region, going to get some prison shanks in there. Might be able to kind of help that win that fight, but I still think the Maneaters at the end of the day are going to pull this one out, especially with the Slaughtermaster coming in, and he's a good fighter. Slaughtermaster going up against the Firebelly of outer region. Firebellies are also solid fighters. I don't know who would actually win in a straight fight. Probably the Slaughtermaster just has more HP overall, but Firebellies have good combat sets, actually. In the middle, Maneater going to be rotating over there to try and secure that point. And oh man, Ash just barely didn't get that point. That's rough. Ash was like 1 second away from getting that point, but it looks like it's going to be stabilized by outer region, which is going to keep him in the game. We got 8.7 against 8.7, just knockdown, drag out fight. But again, with the healing advantage going over to Ash, those there have been at least, I think, 2 or 3 Troll Guts this game, right? Taking a look, yeah, and there's going to be another Troll Guts going down right there. That is so freaking cost effective. Look at that. So we get the big old Troll Guts going down. That's going to be healing up the biggins, and they're going to be showing that Tyrant who's boss. As the Saber-Tusk pack comes in, probably going to be chasing down some of these routing bull units, and the Tyrant going to be rotating back to the center, where outer region looks to be making a desperation grab. So he's got triple Nobblar going in there. But up on the high ground, there is going to be a Crusher with Great Weapons called in. So this is pretty much going to diminish any efforts that outer region makes on the high ground. And these Crushers are going to be crushing. They're going to get in there and they're going to do some work. Hey, Wenda, thank you for the donation. Hey, Torino, never thanked you for the awesome content. Helped me through hard times. Hey, man, sorry you had to go through hard times. Hope things are improving for you. And really hyped for the Ogre deal. So yeah, it's one of the reasons I wanted to cast this game a little bit. It's like, all right, Ogres getting some new stuff. Let's kind of revisit them, see what they got. Let's see who the Ogre Tyrant is here in this game, or the Ogre Tyrant. Looking at Objective 1, though, it is a triple cap here for Ash. So Ash looks like they are going to be the champion of the Great Maw here today. I don't see too many avenues for outer region to get back in this game, with the exception of like a colossal blunder coming in from Ash, like maybe throwing away the Lord, letting the Slaughtermaster die or something like that. And you can see this objective is taken. It is currently triple capped. The middle point is owned by Ash as well. Outer region trying to steal it with the Nobblar Trappers, but we are going to get the basic Nobblars moving in, and they will lose that fight pretty horrifically against the Trappers. It depends. Yeah, they have plenty of ammo too, so they're going to be able to nail them down. But it will delay the capture for long enough, maybe to get like a Saber-Tusk pack coming in. But man, it's going to be another Mournfang cab on the way in. So we have a Mournfang battle, and that should be able to fold up this position. So Ash basically just needs to delay, hold on to the point, delay the capture wait for as long as humanly possible. Maneaters did get a Butcher ability, and we see the Saber-Tusk pack running in to rip apart the Nobblars, which is pretty cost-effective. Nobblars are very squishy. They have relatively low combat stats, obviously, and their armor is only 21. So the Saber-Tusk are going to give him the dirty. Slaughtermaster coming in on his peg leg, and he's ready to party as well. We do have the Ogre character squad here for Outer Region. We have the Firebelly and the Tyrant. Of course, Outer Region not going to be going down easily. To beat him, you really, really got to work for it. And you can see he's making his opponent work for it as he presses all the various points on the battlefield. Maneaters being pulled back in. Outer Region sending in Ogre Bulls. The problem about the Ogre Bull send right here is that they're just going to lose to this Maneater. Like, even this very tattered Maneater could probably take on this unit and that unit at the same time in like a 2v1 situation. They're very, very good at that. So back on the point, Nobblar Trappers sitting here with their Massacre active. So Outer Region going to be using the Massacre. Here we have Maneaters battling it out versus the Ogre Bulls and the two characters. We're going to see how they do. So far their value is 1600, so very, very good stuff as these Pirate Ogres looking extra cool, got their big clubs, and they're going to be taking these other Ogres to the club. I love how the Ogres just like throw down fat karate kicks. It's always pretty hilarious. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we're seeing a very, very dangerous point here for Outer Region. It is well in the triple cap territory, and Ash is doing an excellent job making sure that none of the points are flipping. Really, really, keeping them away from old Outer Region. Looks like this one's just barely going to stabilize. And the Crusher's coming in with the Maneaters, going to be punishing the Firebelly. The Tyrant certainly at the end of his lifespan. On the high ground here, looking at Objective 1 on the south side of the battlefield, which feels kind of weird since we're going side to side, but this is the south side of the map. We do see the Maneaters with Massacre, just terror routing and beating down these poor Nobblars. Talk about an absolute, literal and metaphorical massacre here, as these guys do get beaten down. So that's probably GG. I mean, Outer Region might fight a little bit longer. There was maybe a couple windows of a comeback opportunity for Outer Region, but I think that like if he wasn't able to get a big play, like sniping an enemy Lord or something like that, like in the mid game, there was not really much of a chance for a comeback here. We do see Dismember active. But yeah, the Cav were the difference makers. His Crushers were incredibly good. And I know a lot of land battle Ogre players do use Crushers. They're very, very very popular, but yeah, and Dom, I don't know. I haven't seen as many Ogre players experimenting. Ogres, by the way, are also one of the least played factions in the entire game. They have like almost no games played. Even over the course of this extremely long season we've had, Ogres have like, I think like 30 or 40 games, whereas most factions have like 100, 200, right? So they're barely played at all. But today it looks like there's a handful of them. Yeah, indeed, indeed. All right, so checking this out. And let's get it going. And here we are. GG, well played. So, the Crushers, man, they got work done. 1,400, 1,100, and this one obviously wasn't called in, but let's see what the starting build looked like. Skystrider, 1,700, 1,500. Yeah, they were able to do some work. Not bad at all. Looking at Outer Regions build, his Firebelly managed to get 2,000 value. Tyrant paid for itself. Iron Blaster probably needed to live longer. Like, he needed to be able to use all of his ammunition on the Iron Blaster and get, like, 3,000 value on that to win that game. Was probably the path to success there for Outer Region. So, that is going to be round 1 of today's tournament. Today is an SFT, so we do need to wait for all the games to finish. And let's go take a look at the tournament and see what the tail of the tape is. And see how many people we got signed up. Can't watch tonight. I have work early tomorrow. Don't worry, the VOD will be here for you, my friend. All right, so it looks like we're almost ready for the next round. Let's take a look at the round. So Revan defeated Christopher. We have Martin losing to Flitten. Azulago defeated Greenskin. Charix defeating Via Anime. B6 getting the bye round, the dreaded bye round. And we still have a couple games. Ash just just defeated Outer Region here. And yeah, a lot of good players. Hitman, Hippo, Scrambled Egg, Pug. Yeah, a lot of top leaderboard players. So taking a look at the top of the leaderboard right now, it's been a long season because my seasons usually correlate to content cycles, and we haven't gotten anything new in a long, long time. He's doing a Grimgore campaign. It's true, I dabbled a little bit on a Grimgore campaign. But yeah, currently the number 1 ranked player is Serkia, and then we have Outer Region here, Scrambled Egg Special number 3, Alexander Nuts number 4, Charix. So we literally have number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 9, and I think, yeah, all those players are playing in today's tournament. So we have a lot of top leaderboard players playing today. A lot of tournaments coming up. Shout out to Big JP. He's been putting on a lot of events with his crew, and you could see, he puts them like way ahead of time. Like, we have events scheduled all the way up until the 27th, which is pretty cool to see. So here's our event for today. So if you guys want to get involved with Total War multiplayer, that is the way to do it. Just join up on Total Tavern. There's a Discord link in the top. That should take you to our Discord, unless it's broken. If it is, let me know and I'll fix it. But 2 games left to finish, and we'll be getting into the next round here in just a minute. Okay, this might be a long shot, but does anyone remember the Berserk game that was in a turn stream where he won a game on Beastman using a Jabber Scythe? Oh, man. Dude, that's probably buried in like a stream somewhere, Let me see here. All right, outstanding. And all right. I think we're good. Yep, just got to wait for this to wrap up here. And we should be golden. Yes, yes. How you guys doing? Is life treating you all well? I sure hope so. And yeah, all right. It's go time, man. So we'll try and avoid mirror matches. One mirror match is okay. I thought an Ogre one would be interesting. Because I think that they can have some build diversity. Ogres can do a lot of different stuff, despite having a very limited roster. They can do multitude of tactics. They can do objective stuffing. They can do ranged play, artillery play, monstrous cav, monster play, SE play. Like, they can do a lot. I want to play so bad, but have college classes. At least you can watch. I know it's okay, man. Finish college, and then you can become a man child like me and just play games all day. You'll get there. You'll get there. I remember the MS Paint thumbnails, like the infamous Woolly Mammoth. Oh, yeah. Well, my wife drew most of those. So the MS Paint thumbnails from the early days, like we're talking 2017, 2018, those are drawn by my wife. Yeah, she would just like doodle them for fun and send them to me, and then we would use them. Yeah, the Ogre didn't change it. Yeah, so Ogres, I think, are the least played faction. Let's take a look right now and see. Yeah, the Ogres only have, they have 69 games played. Oh, no, never mind. They have more than that. No, 69. Yeah, they have 69 games played. 42% win rate. I think Ogres are good, though. I think they're fine. Yeah, and so here's the win rates. Top 5 are banned today, so none of these factions can be played in today's tournament. So no Wood Elves, Kislev, Beastmen, Slaanesh, or Tomb Kings. Although I don't really mind playing Tomb Kings at all, but their win rate is like so heavily inflated by the Camarine War Sphinxes. If those things got balanced a little bit or I think maybe keep them as they are and buff other monsters, Because like they do what a monster should do. Like, I don't think they're that oppressive, but they are very good. Yeah, Skaven, dude, look at the Horned Rat sitting at a 51% win rate. It's cool to see. I'm so happy we have all this data. And we will be starting a new season as soon as we get any sort of, if we get like even if we get a big multiplayer patch, right? that doesn't have DLC in it, like a big balancing pass, I would be willing to start a new season too. And then we could have a season finals for this season, which is going to be a knockdown drag out game. It's going to be really fun. Definitely some players I don't recognize, which is also cool to see. But yeah, we're gonna be following their careers with great interest. Yeah, Slaanesh is good. Their rampage and like the buffs to the greater demons, not the exalted keepers and whatnot, but the demonettes, the exalted demonettes and the basic demonettes, like those made, and fiends getting a buff, like fiends being buffed was an insane change. That just totally threw Slaanesh on its head. Beastmen are really good. It's because they have Centaurs of Tzeentch. Without that, they would be like a 50% faction. Centaurs of Tzeentch are kind of a broken unit. So yeah, that's why they're so strong. One game left to finish. It's Hitman Hippo versus Poison. Wasn't there a 90s song called Poison? Oh, who sang that? It was like, the lyrics are like, that girl is poison, and it's like kind of like an R&B, like, oh, what the hell is that song called? Is it just called Poison? I can't remember. I remember like hearing that at like school dances in the 90s. Takes me back to the olden days. All right. Thank you guys for joining. We're going to be getting on round 2 in a second. Yeah, Ogres are a good faction. I think so. I think they're hard to play. They're a little tricky. Was it Britney Spears? No, it wasn't. It was like an R&B song, wasn't it? Yeah, Britney Spears is Toxic, not Poison. Yeah. Oh my God, what is it called? It's called Poison. It's by Bell Biv DeVoe. No, it's Bell Biv DeVoe. It's called Poison. It's very catchy. It was in 1990. That's some old school stuff, but it's a super catchy song. Yeah, I remember hearing that at like school dances in like 1996. Yeah, when I was like 8 years old. Yeah, that's the one. All 90s songs are Poison or top. Yeah, there's a lot of that in the 90s. Dude, 90s ruled. Do you remember the man, we had some crazy TV in the 90s. Like, remember like the kids shows? Like how disturbing they were? Like Ren and Stimpy and like oh my God, and all those like, yeah, Courage the Cowardly Dog was I think that was more early 2000s, but that one also had some disturbing shit in it as well. All right, so let's do Opal Black Bear versus Martin. All right, so we're gonna do that one. Okay, here he is. Perfect. So we're gonna get in this lobby, and we'll go from there. Dude, 1990s is old, bro. That was over 30 years ago. 90s was the glory age because of boy bands. That's true. Pwn knows. Well, I mean, they still have the boy bands are still going hard in Korea, aren't they? Isn't that a big thing over there? Yeah. So hey man, if you want it, there's a renaissance of boy bands. Okay, so I just need to find Martinius' lobby. We'll see if we can. There he is. There he is. Let's get an old spectator slot on there. I don't know what he's playing. I think he's playing Grand Cathay. Not sure. I am not sure. Did anyone here watch Pirates of Dark Water? No, I never saw that. Courage was goated. Yeah, Courage was fun. It was a fun show. K-pop, yeah. Okay. Give me the code, Precious. Give it to me. No code yet, so we might have to find somebody else if he's semi-AFK. We don't want to be left in the dust. Who else is there? That round finished pretty quick, though. It definitely finished very quickly. So what other games do we have? We could do a Hitman Hippo game. That would be fun. Scrambled Egg versus Flitten could also be fun. So let me get that from Scrambled Egg. Yo, lobby code, please. All right. So we're going to see if Scrambled Egg is going to be able to hook us up here with the lobby code. Scrambled Egg is one of the coolest people in our community. He's such a nice person. And a really good player, too. And he plays like fun factions like Vampire Coast. He's got the trifecta. Yeah. So we'll see who's going to give us the code first, and then whoever does, we'll get into that game, and we will party. Okay. Let's see here. Cool. So here's our lobby code, and let's see what the matchup is going to be. Ah, he doesn't have a password. Okay, so I'm going to have to get back and find it manually. There we are. Do you think Beastmen would feel better to play against with limited ban on Centaurs of Tzeentch? I think they just need to balance them. Centaurs of Tzeentch like just hit disproportionately hard against like everything. And the arcane charge ability is very good. They have like 40 something weapon strength. It's pretty nuts. Whereas I think Centaurs with great weapons normally have only 40 or 34. So it's like it's quite a difference. I mean, you are paying more, but the extra HP from the shields, the magic damage, there's so much they do. Biker Mice from Mars. Yeah, my wife knows about that one. She actually told me about that. I didn't remember that, but yeah. I can play guitar, bass, and drums. I taught myself too. Guitar is really fun. Yeah, no, yeah. Knowing an instrument is cool. We got vampire counts. Okay, this is perfect. We got the Halloween special. By the way, I'm going to be organizing a faction war, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So on probably Saturday, next Saturday, we're going to be having a Halloween extra scary faction war, which will be fun. So yeah, maybe we'll do something with that. I think we're going to print out like a trophy or something. You know, like we offered painted minis in the past, but I think a trophy would be something cooler that people would enjoy more, like a hand-painted trophy. Because we could just totally 3D print one and then, you know, do something like that. Yes, yes. Vampire Mirror? Oh god, no. Why would you put that evil on us, dude? Come on. Vampire Mirrors are suffering. Although, to be fair, the one we had in that recent tournament was pretty good. In Scrambleds. Okay. Just doing some admin stuff right there, and here we are. Nurgle versus Vampire Counts. Okay. The battle of the bump and grind. This is going to be a very, very interesting one. All right. Yeah, so we have the Blood Knights potentially coming in to contest the mobile game. I wonder if we're going to see anything super avant-garde from Hlidden here. I'm probably going to be a Great Unclean One or Kugath. But the problem with going Kugath is the vampires are so much more mobile than you that they can just play the other points with like Blood Knights. So you just use Blood Knights to control the other objectives, which is super fun. Yeah, tournament's just getting started. We're in round 2 right now. So we had round 1. It was an Ogre mirror match, and now we're in round 2. It is an SFT, so you can follow the progress of the tournament on TotalTavern.com. You can head on over there, and yeah, it's a good time. This will be great. I'm out of the loop. Are the TT maps part of the base game yet? So a handful of them are. So we worked with CA for a long time to get it done. So Road to Talabheim, Celestial Lake, Borderlow Landing, and I think there's one more, right? So Road to Talabheim, Glade of the Everqueen, Celestial Lake, and Borderlow Landing. So we actually managed to get 4 of our maps added to the base game, which is a huge achievement. Took forever to get it done. So shout out to the map makers. We made a Discord, and we had some CA reps in there with the map makers, and they worked together to get the maps added to the game. CA did kind of fumble the ball on one of the maps. I don't know if they fixed it yet. Maybe they did. I haven't checked them in a while, but they did. Overall, it was a good job. 3 of them were very good. And yeah, so now laddering is way better in domination mode. They got rid of a lot of the crappy maps. So there was 2 things. We added our maps to the game, and we also got rid of the terrible maps that were in the quick battle system. So now when you queue for domination quick battle, you're going to get more than likely a good map. Every map in there is playable and decent. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun, man. Who wins, Rots or Blood Knights? Blood Knights are better, for sure. I don't know who would win in a straight fight, though. Blood Knights are a much better unit, though. Overall, Blood Knights cost, I think, 100 less than Rot Knights. I don't know who. I would assume, like, on paper, the Rot Knights should win that. But Rot Knights are just deceivingly bad. Whereas Blood Knights, I find that Blood Knights can run over infantry very effectively and large targets. That's the difference. Whereas Blood Knights or Rot Knights just are only good against large targets, and even then, they're not that good, right? So I would love to be proved wrong and see a game where, like, Rot Knights just feast. You got me to buy Legion Tower Defense 2. What a great game. Yeah, isn't it fun? It's so good. I love Legion Tower Defense. I'm so addicted to it. I would honestly stream that every day. It's so good. Anyone play Bloated Boys anymore? No, nobody really plays boats except for a meme. Are you talking about Vampire Coast? Because yeah, people play Coast all the time. Coast is like a 50% win rate faction right now. They're not bad at all. Yeah, they're not bad at all. He's going to bring the magic damage corpse cart. You think so? The forbidden fruit, is it coming? Oh, that's right. The corpse cart that imbues magic damage. Yeah, all right. Look at Harrison with the big thinking over there. The college man. The education. It's paying off. Yeah, Blood Knights are, I think, just more of a generalist. They're kind of like Dragon Princes in that they're good against infantry and can be good against large targets in the case of the Fireborn. Like, yeah, they're kind of like the budget Fireborn, I would say. You borrow the Pone's Grarl egg sack strat. Yeah, it's really fun. It's very fun. What makes Kislev so strong? The entire faction is unbreakable. They have the best cav in the game. They have some of the best infantry in the game. They have healing. I mean, the list goes on. They have excellent top tier shooting. They have pretty good artillery. Like they're just kind of good at everything. Kislev like is just like the yeah, they're just good at everything. Split screen challenge, playing Legion on the left, Warhammer on the right. It'd be hard, although with the amount of time in between rounds of Warhammer tournaments, we probably could play Legion tower defense in between. But then if it runs long, I don't want to hold up the tournament because Legion games can go anywhere from like, I don't know, 12 minutes to like 25, 30 minutes. So yeah, tricky. Recreate the infamous Kugath / Gorst rivalry. Oh my God, no. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. They fixed my map, but all the forests on every map are added or broken. Okay, Bob, I'm glad they fixed your map. Okay, Epidemius. Yeah, let's go. Hlidden, what a Chad. We get to see an Epidemius game versus Heinrich here. Heinrich going to be summoning out Krell. But we have a very elite Nurgle army. Plague Bearers are pretty good in this matchup, actually. I like them a lot. You know, they're very weak against ranged, and Vampire Counts have no range. So just get a couple Exalted Plague Bearers in there, and if they come up with a Mortis Engine or a Corpse Cart, you put them in guard mode and throw their grenades into the targets you want to snipe. So pretty nice, for sure. I don't think High Elves are in a bad spot. No, High Elves are hard to play, but they're pretty good. At least in Dom. I don't know about Land Battle. I can't comment too much on that, but yeah, they feel fine. I think High Elves are in an okay spot. There are some bad units maybe you could buff on their roster. Like, I don't know, Ilthamar Chariots are a little weird, but in Tyrannoch, but aside from that, yeah, I think, yeah, this is exciting. We got the Tallyman himself. Yeah, Epidemius. All right. Maximum grind rubbing together. Yes, good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so it's going to be Plague Bearers, which will trade pretty well into most vampiric threats. Like, honestly, Plague Bearers will beat crush zombies and skeletons. They could probably beat a Cryptor unit. Graveguard will be the problem. Graveguard are a little bit problematic. So what you want to do is maybe call in some, I don't know, some toads to deal with those. We'll have to see. So Character Core is going to be a Cultist, which is very good because he'll sunder the armor of the Graveguard, putting him down to 60 armor, which will let the Plague Bearers do a lot more damage to them. On top of that, we do have Epidemius. Now, Epidemius has got a couple of fun things. He does, of course, have Cloud of Flies for himself, but more importantly, Sands of Sickness, so he can buff nearby allies and debuff enemies, and it does spread. He does also have the Tallyman's Blades, and this is really good against Mortis Engine, because you summon a full health Exalted Plague Bearer, and then they throw their grenades instantly and take out a big target. It's a really cool combo. And lastly, we do have this is the real reason you bring him. Hey, Colin, thank you for the $4.99, man. What's up, dude? Hey, not much, dude. Just hanging with the bros. You know, we're having a good time here. Thank you for the donation, and here we go. So Tally of Pestilence, as units, I believe, die around him. Yeah, so like Nurglings are really good for this. It gives a big aura of 20% Fizz Res and 15 melee attack. 15 melee attack is a freaky amount of stats. So if you get an Exalted Plague Bearer with over 50 melee attack, dude, it's going to be the Punisher, because they already hit super hard with 52 weapons rank. Yeah, very curious to see how this plays out. Now, looking at the build here of Scrambled Egg Special, he's got a really cool banner here. He does have Zombies into the Sunset, backed up by the Sternsvin and some Cryptors, so very standard vampire counts. And he does have the Balefire Corpse card. This is the one that I believe you guys were talking about. Yeah, it gives flaming attacks against Nurgle. Wow, and it also gives magic. That is so freaking good. That is so powerful. Oh man, like the fact that like all the Nurgle units are going to be on fire is going to mitigate healing so much. That is an MLG play. We have another Corpse card with the Balefire over here, and that is it. Heinrich and his White Kings, Scab Scrates should be pretty good against the Exalted Plague Bearers. They only have 35 armor, so they certainly don't enjoy that. And basically what's going to be happening is Nurgle's going to get this objective, and this objective here is going to be going to the Vampire Counts, and they're just going to rub their sausages together on the middle, you know. Just going to be going at it and having a good old time. Hey, bro, SIGMAR bless. All day. All day. I hope there's an Empire Champion in today's tournament. I was going to play, but I got caught up with something just before the stream started, so yeah, it took me out of it. So Heinrich, better watch out. Doesn't want to get grenaded. Oh, did the grenades get thrown? No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like Hlidden did manually micro that to make sure that didn't happen. And now the legions of Nurgle advance up on the objective. The Plague Bearers march. backed up by these Nurgle characters. So we do see the cultists as well as this. Man, Nurgle characters are just the coolest looking thing ever. I mean, look how rad that guy looks. Come on. Tell me that guy's awesome. Vampire Count's also a very cool aesthetic. I mean, Graveguard are just epic looking. They look really good in tabletop too. But yeah, I mean, even though these models, Graveguard models are how old? Oh my god, like 7 or 8 years? They still hold up very well. Definitely do. All right, so Nurgle's going to be stealing the objective. They have way more capture weight. And what is this? The Angels of Decay. Okay, we get the Arwar Plague Drones. What are they going to be targeting? It looks like they're going to be going after Heinrich. But immediately Scrambled Egg is like, get that out of here. He's going to be calling in Fellbats as well as Vargeist. So we're going to see how this trade goes up in the sky. Nurgle could probably contest the skies if it uses its Holy Hand Grenades and if it calls in some Furies. But there is going to be some Unholy Hand Grenades, and they are going to be throwing into the Corpse Cart. Wow, a lot of damage on the Corpse Cart right out of the gates. And now we are going to be seeing these guys pull back as the Hand Grenades do move into the White Kings. But the White Kings will take a beating from Epidemius. I mean, he's a great AP character. He's got really good stats and poison. So him and the Cultist, yeah, these White Kings are going to get bullied a little bit. They're probably going to be forced back. Epidemius, the Tallyman of Nurgle, he does not mess around. And we do have the drones nearby, and they're going to be helping with their armor piercing. Now the vampires are probably going to have to surge forward, I would imagine. So Skeleton Warriors getting ready to party as we do have the Crypt Horrors moving in. And now, are you guys ready to see the fetid sausages rubbing together? Because that's what you're going to be getting here today in this battle. Angels of Decay get up, and you can see the 2 White Kings getting smashed up. Of course, Epidemius in pretty good shape. The Plague Bearers trading into the zombies on the other side. And now there is some sort of healing going down. No, Sands of Sickness. Okay. So negative 24 melee defense to everybody around them, and it does spread, so that is going to be hitting most of the army. We do see the Angels of Decay. They're going to be landing on the ground again. And the Barons of the Bog. Oh, yeah, Ba with the Bog. They're here. So these guys are really good in blob fights. They buff vigor, of course, of nearby allies, but more importantly, they debuff the stats of everyone around them, and they're pretty nuts. They have poison too. Going to be able to rip apart these Fellbats if they can, and this could actually end up favoring Nurgle, maybe in the blob fight. Like, if Nurgle can stack enough debuffs and not lose units quickly, then man, they might be able to outgrind the Vampire Counts. If the Vampires don't call in a Mortis Engine, right? Without the Mortis Engine, I don't know, Nurgle might be able to get it, because Epidemius' tally is going to be raising. If we take a look here at Epidemius' tally, what is it at right now? It's currently sitting at 42%. So he is giving 10% Phys Res to everybody around him, and also 8 melee attacks. So that's only going to get stronger over the course of the game. And now we have the Barons of the Bog in here. And Barons of the Bog should counter the Graveguard pretty effectively. They, of course, have really, really good armor piercing, and they get a lot of work done. So side objective owned by Nurgle. Skeleton Warriors getting demolished by Plague Bearers. No surprises there. Plague Bearers very good in that situation. We do also have the Festering Stooges. Festering Stooges are awesome. Really, really good candidate for heals because they resurrect themselves. And you can see they're just going to be chewing through a massive amount of chaff. The Angels of Decay do land on the ground. Lidden playing with super good micro. He keeps landing these things every time they get threatened by one of the flying units, and then he protects them with like his Barons of the Bog. And we do get the Plague Bearers being summoned over here. So the Plague Bearer from Epidemius has been summoned. Is it going to be using its Holy Hand Grenades, or is it just going to be fighting? It looks like it's just going to be fighting there. Fellbats trying not to land in the main fight, as we do get the Frolickers Bubonic arriving. So these are the Arwar Nurglings, and this is going to be the big old grindy fight. So yeah, that is another synergy that I saw somebody in chat bring up that we should discuss, is that the Sands of Sickness, the Nurgle army ability charges up when things are like poisoned or debuffed, right? So Sands of Sickness really, really gets the Nurgle army ability going quite a bit quicker. So that's a really, really nice synergy as well. So Nurgle's going to be calling in what? Bile Trolls. Okay, I like that. Now, if I were Scrambled Egg Special and I saw Bile Trolls coming in, I would probably hit them with the Fellbats from the front and the Vargeist from the back and try and break their leadership really quickly. Although it looks like he's going to be moving back into the battle, maybe looking for the Angels of Decay. We'll have to see. So yeah, I think that Lidden is probably trading pretty well here. The value's even, of course, but Nurgle does have a lot of healing. But the Mortis Engine is going to completely win the fight for the Vampire Counts if Nurgle doesn't have a way of dealing with it. The Mortis Engine is freaking brutal. It's going to be countering all these Plague Bearers and the heavy elite infantry corps of the forces of Nurgle. Sands of Sickness active once again. Epidemius giving a big stat line buff. We still see Krell. Oh, Krell is in there. Okay, Krell's taking a little bit of damage, but Bile Trolls is another layer of debuffing, right? So Bile Trolls are going to be lowering these stats by -6 in terms of the melee defense. We do see the Cultist dropping a Plague Bearer summon on top of the Corpse Cart. Now, remember, a lot of Nurgle's healing, though, is going to be shut down, or not shut down, but mitigated by the fire damage that the Vampire Count army is doing from the Balefire. So we're going to see how that plays out really towards the end of the game here. But Epidemius grinding it out. He's probably got some respectable value. Looking at these side objectives, Nurgle does own that one. Oh my god, Winds of Death. And Winds of Death deletes one of the Plague Bearers. The Festering Stooges get deleted from the game, and the other one gets wrecked as well. Okay, the Winds of Death play was something I didn't account for. I know that Scrambled Egg loves his Winds of Death. We've seen him do some very good ones in tournaments relatively recently. And here in this case, we do have the big flyers coming in. The Vargheists are going to be controlling this guys. The Angels of Decay are pretty damn good fighters, though. 1-to-1, they could probably defeat a Vargheist unit, but in their current state, they're going to lose that fight. On the side objective, zombies are chilling. You know, Nurgle does not have the Mortis engine, right? So I think they might end up losing. Like, usually you would see a Kugath or an Exalted Great Unclean one in this matchup. Epidemius is very cool, but not having that Mortis is very, very taxing, right? Because over the course of a long game, like all these expensive Plague Bearer units, which even the baseline Plague Bearers are very, very pricey, right? Are going to be paying the Troll Toll. And, you know, something else to also note is that, you know, all this damage, like if you look at the entire army of the Vampires, right? They all do magic damage because of the Balefire Corpse card. So that means that the physical resist that Epidemius is providing is really not doing anything. Which is a shame. The melee attack is still super good. 15 melee attack is insane. So it's still worth it to an extent. But yeah, you got to be careful with that. Okay, so Nurgle realizes I think they're losing the middle and is going to be calling out Chad Knights. I love Rot Knights. They're so freaking cool looking. I wish there was a tabletop model for these things. But they do get in and they run over the old Zombos. So we see the zombies getting mulched apart pretty damn hard right here as they feast like the heathen kings of old. And what is the response going to be from the Vampire count? Skeleton Spearmen and Skeleton Spearmen. The Rot Knights might be able to flip that objective. We will have to see. The middle objective actually starting to go to Nurgle as well. Is the melee attack too much? Epidemius going balls deep here. He's actually trying to get that Mortis engine down, but he is taking a ton of damage in the process. Sands of Sickness activated once again, and the Barons of the Bog are still active. Yeah, look at them. They're still debuffing. The stat line of the Vampire counts is so heavily diminished between the Wasting Sickness, the Bile Trolls, as well as the Sands of Sickness. There's so much going down on the Vampire count stat line. Absolutely nasty stuff. But Bile Troll is doing good damage, but oh god, that's going to be a nasty Winds of Death. Is it going to be overcasted? Oh god, he's trying to dodge it. Oh man, it gets in there. Big damage there on those Plague Bearers, goes through the middle. Does also melt the Sternsmen though, so the Vampire count infantry do get crumbled down as well. Rot Knight's going to get attacked by spears, multiple spear units, so that was a good win for them. They just, you know, they forced out a summon of a couple units that probably wouldn't be ideal, and then they just run away, right? But they're probably going to be able to take down the Dire Pack here. They do move in, but now they're going to be charged by the big old Vargheists. That probably was a mistake by Lydon there to engage with the Vargheists flying nearby, because, yeah, you see Rot Knights just, they die so freaking quickly. I don't know what it is, but they just take so much damage. Vampire counts, though, the Mortis Engine, I guarantee you this thing's sitting at like 1,500 value right now. 2,400 value on the Mortis Engine. You know, the Nurgle brought a knife to a Mortis fight is, I think, a very apt description of what's going on here. And yeah, overall, we see the crumbling, the Winds of Death in tandem with the Mortis Engine starts to win out, and the Rot Knights are very expensive, and they don't really provide a lot to the center engagement, so that's going to be tough. We do have Bile Trolls back here, Exalted Plague Bearers, but Scrambled Egg Special pulls massively ahead on value, 13,000 against 10.8, and that's all because of the Mortis Engine. You need to be able to kill it, so if you're going to go no Mortis for Nurgle, you need to be really, really hyper-fixated on killing it, and by doing that, I think going for a Nurgle Sorcerer with Rancid Visitations and maybe a couple characters to try and snipe it, or some SEs, like, I don't know, maybe not Uncle for Uncle, but something in that ballpark. Because if you just let a Mortis Engine go, it's going to win. It's going to heal the entire army here, and you're going to have a very bad time. Rot Knight's going to be charging in to try and help Epidemius, but Epidemius is unstable and crumbling, so he's paying the Troll Toll. And the Children of the Night, still the OG Blob faction, they're showing why they're still the kings of the Blob. And the Balefire carts were very good, yes. I think Balefire carts were an essential part of the victory here for Scrambled Egg Special, but I think the Mortis Engine was the main reason. It's going to be eclipsing, you know, 3,000 value here, but it's not just damage that the Mortis Engine does, it's also healing, and the Vampire army just, you know, was cackling all the way to the bank with that drain. Because, you know, 2,400 value on a Mortis is like the equivalent of killing, you know, like 3.5 Plague Bearers, or 2 Exalted Plague Bearers, which is so much. Yeah, GG, well played. GG, well played. I love the attempt from Lydon, though. That was a very fun game. Epidemius was cool. Exalted Plague Bearers, not bad value. 1,500, 1,000, you know. We did get the Winds of Death. Winds of Death was super clutch, by the way. That was really good by Scrambled Egg. I've always felt this matchup is Vampire count favored, and the many times I've tested it, I used to play this with Subutai all the time when we were playing a lot. And he would usually beat me with Vampire counts into the Nurgle. Like, Blood Knights were really good, but also their Mortis Engine is a little bit more effective than the Nurgle. Nurgle has to bring it on their Lord. I guess like a big Great Unclean one was probably the best bet. Like going for a Kugath or an Exalted Great Unclean one was, I think, usually the win condition. When Nurgle would win, it'd be one of those two pieces. So, all right. Yeah, Winds of Death was super good as well. That was big. And Nurgle's magic wasn't terribly impactful. I think they needed some Rancid visitations to try and snipe some of the characters and the SEs. So let's take a look here at the old chart of battle and see what's cooking. Scrambled Lake Special defeating Clinton. We have Poison defeating Azilago. We do have Ash being defeated by Alexander. So Ash beating Outer Region game 1 and then losing to Alexander in game 2. And a handful of other games, which should be wrapping up here in the next like 10 or 15 minutes. And then hopefully we can get to the next round. I believe it's a 4-round tournament. Let me check. Yeah, 4 rounds. Standard rules. Yep. All is good in the neighborhood. And that is that. All right, guys. Cool stuff. Praise to the cooler weather. Yeah. Oh, man, it's so nice. Wife and I were talking about like how it's been so cloudy and overcast here the past couple days. Today's a little warmer, but it's been so good. Oh my god. Yeah, so what would I do if I was playing Nurgle in a tournament against Vampire Counts? I am a Nurgle guy myself. I've had a couple tournament wins with Nurgle, so I think I can shed some light on this. So I would probably... Kugath is a little slow for my liking, but he is very devastating, but vampires will definitely outmaneuver you in that case. I think I would do an Exalted Great Chungus. He has 36 movement speed, so he's really good at moving between the 2 points. Nurgling, Emergence, yeah, it's not that good. You could probably just cut it. And then Blightstorm is probably, you can cut that as well. I would go Fleshy and Rancid. Rancid is really good, because like when those annoying little White Kings and Corpse Guards and Mortis Engines, like Rancid overcasted can kill them pretty well. Yeah, Puggington's playing today. He is, yeah. And then for the battle line, I did like his core battle line. I think probably regular Plague Bearers would maybe be my core. Warriors aren't very good here, in my opinion. And would I go double Cultist or would I go with double Exalted Chad? Probably Exalted Chads. And I'd probably bring them on foot, just bare bones, and have them just bash down the... Because they could kill White Kings and they can also kill Graveguard, right? So that gives you answers against both those. Angels of Decay definitely are a unit you want in reserve. And then to help win the Air Force fight, I think you want Furies. I don't know how well Furies trade into Vargheists, so that's something I would have to test. Yeah, Barons of the Bog were an excellent choice. You could bring them out of the gates as well, just to get that real big jump on your opponent's army. But 1 Bile Troll, Barons of the Bog, and you could even bring a Beast of Nurgle. They do have the Slime Trail, right? So like this is your debuff kit. You have these 3 characters. The Beast of Nurgle lowers melee attack by 5. Miasma or the Wasting Sickness is going to debuff them with the Bile Trolls as well. So that's pretty nasty. You can go Giant in this build too if you want to. Regular Chaos Knights theoretically are decent, but the problem is that Vargheists just kill them, so it's kind of a stupid thing to try and bring in. Ogres, Plague Ogres are something I've experimented with. I don't know if I've had a lot of success, so I don't know if I would bring those. Definitely Nurglings are really good. You're going to need a couple of those just for capture weight, and you can make one of them the Frolickers Bubonic. Forsaken are actually okay here because they get up and they clear zombies and skeletons really quickly, so they're good for split pushing. But you got to watch out for Cryptors. I would say only one, probably Forsaken, is going to be all that you want to bring. Now, in the main army, we have to decide how we're going to play this aside from that. I think one thing that you really need against Vampire Counts are throwing axes. As a matter of fact, I'd probably just cut 2 of those and get another throwing axe here, because they're very disruptive. And yes, they can be hunted down by hounds, but they can still kite the hounds. And you have other ways. You can call out Furies to peel the hounds off, or you could even cut out the Forsaken if you want to, and you can get your own hound units. You go like double Fury and get like, your own doggies, or, Plague Toads would probably be the adequate choice. This is probably what I would do. If I were like going into a tournament match right now against Vampire Counts, something like this. Throwing axes are invaluable against vampires. And yeah, I think overall it looks pretty good. The Great Chungus is really, really hard to deal with. Yeah, very tough to deal with. Okay, so let's refresh this. I've been on a huge Tomb King's kick on tabletop. I'm currently painting my Casket of Souls, which is fun. Sometime in the next week or two, we'll get all our armies out on the tabletop. I'll clear off the table and we'll go give you guys like an armies on parade thing. That'll be pretty fun. Are you going to come back to Age of Wonders with the new update? Yeah, we will. Yeah, we'll do a couple streams of it. We'll do like probably 2 or 3 Age of Wonders streams with Pone. Pone and I always love doing that. And of course, if Anna wants to play as well, we'll do a big 4v4. Tamarcon? No, probably not. Because he's an anti-large character, so like he's going to struggle against those foot characters. I mean, you could go Tammy on if you wanted to do Tammy. Okay, so you want a Tammy build. So probably going to keep the reinforcements the same and just change the starting build. If I were to do Tamarcon against Vampire Counts, I would go monstrous. I wouldn't put him on foot, probably. I'd probably go big and just have him try and wreck the Graveguard. Nurgle's Favored Sons, Rotting Host. Yeah, it's pretty good. Black Cleaver is also a very good item. You would need a Nurgle Sorcerer as well, because Tamarkon without healing is just trash. So you need healing with him. Cut that, cut that. Children of Nurgle's fine, although we could probably cut that. And then we just go Fleshy, and we could do Rancid. Oh, and then Tammy. How are we going to support Tammy? Probably a Cultist, Gates of Nurgle, and then just get the debuffs. Or even without the Gates of Nurgle, whatever. Just get the debuffs. So we have, like, it's a lot of debuffs, right? You have the Cultist and then these 3 debuff units. That's how I would play Tammy. He's all right. He's still very tanky. He's got like 12,000 HP. And I mean, he can kill the foot characters. I mean, Tammy might be okay here. Like, against that build we just saw from Scrambled Egg, Tammy might be all right. And Tamarkon is so freaking cool, by the way. It's just like one of the coolest things ever. Sounds good. All right, so let's see how we're looking for the next round. That game finished reasonably quickly. I felt like the players got their stuff together. Yeah, Tammy's pretty good for debuffs as well, right? So let me show you guys what that can look like a Nurgle full debuff bracket. So we're gonna do land battle here. We're gonna do Nurgle. We'll do the what is that called? Let's do Galbrass. It's fine. All right, so if we were playing Nurgle debuffs, right? So let's just get like all the Nurgle debuff characters together. And we can see what the stat line looks like. Okay, so we got the Bile Trolls, we have the Barons of the Bog, and then we need the Beasts of Nurgle too. Beasts of Nurgles are actually pretty good against vampire counts. They regenerate, they're tanky, they have AP. I think they're a unit that's very heavily slept on. Is there any debuff units I'm missing? I don't think so. The Cultist has got them all. Yeah, so debuffs, debuffs, debuffs. I think we got most of the important ones here. And of course, they all have poison too, so. Except the Cultist, he doesn't have poison, which is interesting. All right, so we're just gonna like test this against like you know, like a Black Orc or something. Yeah, that's fine. The Chaos Lord does have good debuffs. Tammy, we're gonna do Tammy though right now. He's got some good ones, and he looks super cool. Does Kha'Zix have debuffs? Does he? I don't know if he does. I don't remember. Well, Kha'Zix is more niche. This is like the core debuffing squad. As someone who plays a lot of Darktide, Beasts of Nurgle are the worst. Yeah. I have the items on the Cultist. I do. Yeah, he has the 2 items, I think. Does he? Or did I forget to bring those? We'll double check. We can reload, worst case. All right. Yeah, I have it. I have the items. Yeah, sweet. So you keep them together. Let's fast forward here. And we're going to just go ahead and move them tight. Block formation so they stay together. So you can see the stat line right now, okay? So let's just take like a snapshot. So we're at 36, 31, 50, and 70, 45, and then 500 here for that man. All right, so we're gonna go just like move all these guys in. Let's pull them back so they engage a little bit more optimally. There they go. All right, you ready for the debuff train? Here it comes. All right, just look at this, just all these like, okay. So take a look at all the debuffs here, right? On this guy. Do we have them all yet? I don't think so, no. The Icon of Eternal Virulence isn't in yet. The Cultist needs to get in there. All right, I think he's close enough now. All right, so these Black Orcs, look at their stat line now. 34 weapon strength, 25 melee defense, their speed is slow, their leader, like just everything getting tanked. And even Grimgor, right? Grimgor is heavily debuffed right now. But I think he just activated some buff items. Yeah, his weapon strength is 440. It's so cool. So like in a blob fight, oh yeah, he popped like all those debuffs. Yeah, so we'll give it a second to like wear off for Grimgor. And the buff should be wearing off now. Great. So now we can pause. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. The Black Orcs really, really pay the troll toll. Like look at the Black Orc stat line right now. 22, 31, 25, 34. So in a blob fight, that's pretty devastating. You can definitely do some work. Yeah. Tammy's fun. Tammy is fun. I don't know if Slime Trail was active, actually. Maybe it wasn't. All right. We'll cast later. So, are we in the next round yet? Let's go ahead and refresh. I have to admit, it's really nice casting a tournament where I don't have to do the admin work, where Out of Region just does all the lifting. Hitman Hippo is the last player playing. Okay. So, we'll see what we want to cast next. I'm going to go ahead and look and see what everybody's playing today, and we can put a poll up on what you guys want to see. All right, so players who are more or less undefeated here. Okay, so let's put it up to a poll here. Oh yeah, the Forsaken Arwar, the Demon Spew. That's right. You could mix them in as well. Okay, next game. So we just saw accounts, but I'll put them up again. We have Cathay for the next game. Khorne would be fun. And then for the next one, what else do we have? We have Greenskins and Coast. Okay, Coast is a good one too. It is almost Halloween, so we gotta give some respect to the spooky factions. All right, so you guys vote on what you want to see for the next match. That's the tail of the tape. Imagine Nurgle debuff and Marathi debuff in the same team. That could be some truly forbidden 2v2 tactics, right? 2v2 is so fun. It's a shame that we have dedicated servers that are just such trash, you know? Yeah. Coast, of course. Well, you guys vote. Cultist on a War Shrine is also interesting. It's very expensive. Yeah, I don't really like the War Shrines that much. I think they're terrible. I mean, occasionally, like, the Nurgle and the Slaanesh one can be okay, because Nurgle heals and Slaanesh does Mortis, so there is some value to that. You guys want some? Dude, cornbread is my favorite food. I love cornbread. Oh my god. If I could just eat cornbread forever, I'd be set. Any chance you would host a tourney tonight? No, not tonight, Harrison, no. Usually after I stream, I like to chill out. Yeah. So my apologies, brother. Oh, old man sounds, elder millennial sounds. Let's see what we got here. They done? Not quite. Khorne winning it out, all right. I got trolled by being in mobile. Couldn't see Coast was an option and voted counts, so no. It's okay. I'll put your one vote towards towards them. I don't think it's gonna matter anyways. Looks like Khorne, the Khorne dogs are doing it. So who's playing Khorne again? I need to find out. Opal Black Bear, okay. So let me get their lobby. Lobby code, please. Great. So we're gonna be Khorne dogging it. We're gonna get in there and having a good old time. All right, all right. I had real cornbread for the first time. I went to Tennessee this summer. Oh my god, I must have eaten like a dozen cornbread rolls every day. yeah, that's the life, man. Like Southern style cornbread. So my grandma's from the South. She's from Texas, and yeah, she used to make cornbread when I was little, and also just like that was a big thing. But like something else that I think I'm sure some of you folks in chat are from the South as well. But like Southern sweet tea. So basically it's just like iced tea just loaded with sugar, and it's like super sweet. And you just kind of like on a hot day sit on your porch, and that's what me and my grandpa used to do. Man, that stuff is so good. Like just like straight like black tea with a ton of sugar in it. Oh my god. Cornbread with butter and ham and beans. Yeah, it's a good one, Pone. It is. Which infantry on the tabletop was as good as Total Wars? It is for a couple armies. So you can do, Tomb Kings can play mass infantry very effectively. Like in Tomb Kings, you could literally go into a tabletop game with 80 to 120 skeleton warriors, and you would probably be able to take on dragon lists very effectively. Because a dragon is going to take like 5 years to kill, you know, a brick of skeleton warriors. Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's find that lobby. And where are we at? There it is. Opal Black Bear has gotten us the goodies. Was that the password? I don't know. Hashtag janky Total War things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got Bretonia. No, I thought it was me. I was like, am I in there? We need to wait for the other player to join first. Okay, join with code. Why did it join me not as a spectator? That's very strange. Yeah, see, he needs to open a spec slot. Okay, spec slot. So where's his lobby anyways? Does he have a name for that? I think it's... Yeah, he opened a spec slot. I don't know why it's weird. Okay, let me know when your opponent is there. Okay, so we'll join in a second. Something's being a little bit funky with it. Let's refresh the list, see if it pops up here. I only see one game with the spec slot. Who's he playing, by the way? Is he playing Hitman Hippo? No, that's Scrambled Eggs game. We're going to have Opal Black Bear versus Rogue Consultant. Okay, it's called Opal. Yeah, I don't see his game for some reason. It's very weird. Let's jump back out. How do chariots work in tabletop? They're actually pretty good. Chariots are very solid in tabletop. All right, there's his game there. Let's do this, and we got a corn dog game in our hands. So the way that chariots work in okay, so it is Bretonnia. It's Bretonnia versus Khorne. In tabletop, a chariot, the way it works is when it charges you, it does something called impact hits. So normally when a model is fighting another model, you have to roll to hit and then you have to roll to wound, and then the opponent gets to roll an armor save and then a ward save or whatever if they have any extra saves after that. But the way chariots work is when chariots do not have attacks, but they have what's called impact hits. So when a chariot charges you in tabletop, it automatically hits you with its number of impact hits. So if it has like D6 impact hits and you roll 6, then you automatically hit them 6 times. You get to skip the entire hit step, which is really good. It's super, super good. Chariots are great. Yeah, they're really, really good in tabletop, especially the Beastman chariots. Beastman chariots are really good. Chaos chariots are okay. They're a little bit slow, so it's hard to get charges off sometimes, but yeah. You're in the participant observer slot. Yeah, it was just a little bit of a funky bug there. So it's going to be Khorne versus High Elves, actually. Sorry, not Bretonnia. So sorry to blue ball all of you Bretonian fans out there. But yeah, this is a fun one. It's a fun one. I mean, to be honest, Khorne is a pretty good faction right now. I don't think they need a lot. But like whatever they get, Oscar, is just going to be helping them. You know, they're just... Like, Khorne is a solid mid-tier faction right now. They win plenty of tournaments. Yeah, what's not to love? What's not to love? Khorne versus Bretonnia. Yeah, no, it's going to be High Elf. So probably going to see a big dragon, like an Imric type character. Fireborn, maybe. I don't know. Depends. I guess usually you almost always see Fireborn. And it's time. Elite infantry for elves? Yeah, you actually can. You can use Swordmasters and Phoenix Guard in this matchup reasonably well. What would I use? You got to be careful though. Exalted Bloodletters are just the annihilator of High Elf infantry. Like High Elf infantry get just torn to shreds by Exalted Bloodletters. So you need to have some magic to counter those as the High Elves, I think. I want a Khorne single entity unit that is just an archer with like one arrow. You got to elaborate, man. Khorne is getting a lot of elite stuff in their DLC. I think we'll all be getting... Yeah, probably a Slaughter Brute, right? Yeah, I don't even know what's missing from Khorne. I only really know the Nurgle stuff well. Just make the Soul Grinder cooler. Yeah, Khorne Soul Grinders are kind of haggard. Although we've seen a couple high-level players make them work in sweaty games before. So, round 3 of the tournament. We're making very good progress here today, ladies and gentlemen. We have one more... round of regulation after this. Wow, it's going to be a quick one, potentially. So we got one more round of regulation, and then we have the semis and grand finals after that. So shout out to Outer Region, doing a great job running his tournament, keeping it smooth, and to all the players as well. When will the High Elves get their update? I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. You know what's going to happen with the Elves. Like when Slaanesh gets their DLC, it's going to be Elves. It'll be Slaanesh, High Elves, and Dark Elves probably. Because Slaanesh is like loves just corrupting the elves, so it's gonna be those. They should just put like just like a Chaos Lord riding a Harley Davidson. That'd be sweet for the next Khorne DLC. Yeah, Wrathmongers and Skull Reapers. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so like, oh yeah, Khorne is probably gonna get like the... You know how the Dwarves just got the elite anti-infantry slayer? You'll probably see something like that for Khorne as well, like some sort of a lightly armored berserker that hits super hard, just like copy-pasted. Yeah, Khorne is basically... That's the thing though, Shetland, is that Khorne is basically just smash. That's like their whole gimmick, you know? What's the most dangerous Warhammer thing you could personally... If I was taking out like an elector count? Okay, so assuming I didn't have like a hand... like autoimmune disease that makes my grip suck, and I was like in my prime athletic form, and I was in full plate armor, and am I allowed to like have previous training with a sword, or am I just like right now? You know, that's the question. Because like I don't have any training with, you know, swords or, you know, weaponry of that time period, so I would be pretty screwed. Yeah. And I mean, elector counts are pretty geared out too. You have to remember, elector counts are usually wielding rune fangs, which are like magical swords too. So their swords are like OP also. When are we getting an EU time conquest tournament? That would be amazing. I could do that for you, Contrarian. Yeah. Well, you're getting an EU conquest tournament next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but the next one. Because of the faction war, which is going to be conquest. Take a spear. Yeah. Okay, yeah, spear for sure, but Elector counts use Rune Fangs. That's why I was mentioning a sword. Yeah, Rune Fangs are OP. They're magical. All right. Let's get this party started. Here we are, baby. Does Imric win against Garbrand? I don't know, actually. It's a good question. We've been seeing Eltharion making a bit of a resurgence lately. Very cool to see him in action. So, taking a look at the Khorne army of Opal Blackbear, he has got a front battle line of, looks like just Marauders with some dual weapons, but the heavy hitters are going to be the Bloodletter. So we do have some of these scary demons of Khorne. There's going to be 2 of those with some flesh doggies. So flesh dogs, they get the work done, and they can certainly rip apart, light cav. So like Reavers, and they can hold their own against Silverhelms as well. So yeah, I do like the Fleshhound pick in this matchup. So that's going to be it for Khorne. Just very unga bunga. They move forward. The entire cat and mouse of this matchup for Khorne is avoiding damage with your Bloodletters until they can get into contact and then just win the fight, right? So that's that. All right, so taking a look here at the old armies of Rogue Consultants. He's going to be rocking Eltharion the Chad. Love to see it. And Tempest is actually good here because of Furies, as well as Valkia. So you can use them against Valkia to slow her down and do some damage, and you can also use it against Furies to keep them from penetrating into your secondary. Now, I don't think Fiery Convocation is a good call. I think that's a mistake. You want to bring Soul Quench. Soul Quench is very good. You just use it to snipe infantry, and yeah, you have a good time. Apotheosis is always great. The rest of the army here is going to be Spearmen, so just a Haggard Spearman line with Proud Archers. So we got 4 Lothern Sea Guards and some Chariots. Now, these Chariots are kind of interesting in this matchup because you don't need a ton of armor piercing against Marauders and Bloodletters, and they also do magic damage with their bow and arrows. So I have actually used Tyrannok Chariots to recently good success against various demon factions, so I'm curious to see how they do here. They require a ton of micro, ton of control, but with 84 speed and magic damage arrows, if they can get on top of Bloodletters and charge through them and then run away, that's going to be very nice. Very nice indeed. Yeah, high magic is pretty good. Soul Quench is very, very strong. And Eltharion is a Giga Chad also. He's basically High Elf Carl Franz. So, you got to give him props for that. Yeah, he's a cool character for sure. I mean, he doesn't have Gal Maraz or anything like that, but he tries his best. So, yeah. Let us know who you guys think is going to win this fight. Curious to see. Here we are on the Glade of the Ever Queen. And the battle for the fate of Middle-earth is soon to take place. And I don't know. I think the matchup maybe at the highest level is a little bit Khorne favored, but we can actually check the stats after the game. I'm curious to see what it looks like these days. But can't Valkyrie just activate the shield? Yeah, you can. But, it's a way to bait it out, right? If you get to cast Tempest on her and she uses her shield, then you can fight her afterwards. But, I mean, High Elf Carl Franz doesn't want to be fighting against her in general. She's an anti-large specialist. I mean, he's a good fighter, but not something he wants to be doing. Valkia is excellent. 64, 440. She hits super hard. She almost has the same amount of HP as him, despite being an infantry character. So it's a tough one. All right. The Blessed Tyrannok Chariots are coming out, so they're going to be moving through the trees. Yeah, I like Tyrannok Chariots. I think they're fun. I've always kind of considered them to be a bad unit, but I think in a couple niche situations against demons, maybe they're okay. Their little poison shot's not bad. More specifically against Demons of Chaos, right? Because they have really good range at 165. So against like slow-moving Plague Bearers and greater demons and things like that, I find they can do some respectable damage. So Valkia is going to be moving in. Here she comes, and she's going to be getting shot at, but those are going to be some easy dodges. Oh, man, they almost got her there, actually. Some really good tracing on those shots. But yeah, Rogue Consultant should be turning off fire at will right now, and he should be just shooting at the Bloodletters. That's 100% what you want to be doing. Oh, baby, we got a Skull Cannon. Let's frickin' go. I love the Skull Cannons. Oh, yeah. Just the most haggard artillery in the game. Did it shoot there? Okay, it looks like it was a bit of a misfire. He rolled a 1 on his artillery die. Or, I don't know, whatever. It would just be the misfire. It wouldn't even be a 1. Oh my god, it just randomly... You see that? Look, it just shot the tree and got stuck. Oh, that's so freaking haggard. Oh, man. Skull Cannons are such a meme. All right. He's going to shoot down the side of the infantry unit, which won't be bad. And look at this. We do actually get Tempest being used on Valkia. And does she have Demon Shield or did she not bring it? Okay, Valkia did bring Demon Shield, so she does have it. Looks like the Tempest ability crashed somebody's computer here. So one of these guys is on a potato connection. And Demon Shield is activated, so that's going to be giving Invulnerable to Valkia. Okay, yeah, so there you go. Just like you guys said, it does mitigate some of the damage coming in. The Skull Cannon, in the meantime, is just going to be shooting at the Spearmen in the front and, trying to get some skulls for Khorne, living its best life. And where are the Fire Chads? No, don't charge there. No, what are you doing? Rogue Consultant, no. That's a big mistake. Tyrannok Chariots are not good in melee. Against these type of units. Against infantry, yes. But against the Hounds, probably not going to be great, especially with Valkia coming over. you would want to get the Fireborn or some heavy cav to come in and try and deal with that. And maybe get Eltharion to come over here and help, right? This is like a really, really bad situation. I mean, they're doing okay. The magic damage arrows are returning the favor a little bit, and it looks like Eltharion is going to be trying to set his sights on the Skull Cannon, but it's a colossal blunder. I mean, losing, you know, almost 1,600 gold worth of units. Let's see what kind of value they're getting back on the Turin Chariot. So right now, about 165 value. I mean, they are melting some of the hounds with their arrows, and okay, there you go. Now this fight could turn around a little bit. If Eltharion casts like Apotheosis on the Turin Chariots, starts to really turn the tide of that fight, maybe. So archers have gotten in range of the Skull Cannon. Skull Cannon getting melted a little bit. And there is going to be the Mistwalker's Barrage coming in. And now that Eltharion, the Grim Warden, has arrived, the fight is going to be turning around. So the Turin Chariots, yeah, that's all they needed. They just needed a little bit of milk there. But, you know, the arrows end up doing pretty good in melee. Actually, better than I expected, although it's only 200 value. I feel as if Eltharion is probably carrying that fight. Archer shooting pretty healthy, and I think that's one of the reasons why the hounds are melting so quickly. Also, we have 2 archer units providing supporting fire. And now the Fire Chads have arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. One of the best units in the game. These guys are insanely good. Great stat line, anti-large, armor piercing, and in the Khorne matchup, mind you, they have 35% fire resist, right? So if we look at the Skull Cannon, I believe it does do fire damage, but we'll have to take a look in a second. And it is going to be Chaos Knights of Khorne. Oh, that feels so bad for Opal Blackbear, because the Chaos Knights of Khorne do fire damage, so they're going to get wrecked by those Fireborn if they end up fighting. Chariots end up getting melted, though. Both of them look like they're going to be going down, but at the end of the day, at least they had an even-ish trade and were able to drag down some of the Hellhounds. We see the Marauders moving into the secondary using the pencil formation as Opal Blackbear, so they're going to be finding their way into the back line here. And now there needs to be some Silver Helms, some Reavers, something to try and head off these Marauders of Khorne and push them back. Archers are all shooting relatively happily, and Eltharion the Grim's going to be going after the Skull Cannon. Honestly, the Skull Cannon is something you should probably just ignore. It's such a haggard unit. I mean, I guess maybe get it while it's, you know, it's vulnerable like this, but here comes the Chaos Knights against Eltharion. They won't be very good against them. They do lack the armor. And this is a mistake by the Health player. Using the Fireborn to try and kill Valkia, I mean, she's an infantry character and they're anti-large. Their stats are still good enough, so maybe. But they're going to be much better suited fighting elsewhere. And it looks like her Demon Shield just wore off, so maybe they'll start getting some damage now. We'll have to keep tabs on that. And there is going to be a Fiery Convocation coming down. A slight miscast here by Rogue Consultant. Okay, never mind. It still hit. It hit home. It kind of tickled the pickle of those Bloodletters. And this ends up being a good pick because the Skull Cannon wasn't able to scurry away. So maybe Eltharion gets the kill, 1400 HP, Skull Cannon is wavering. If it starts to crumble, man, crumbling demons die so incredibly fast. It's such a massive amount of damage compared to undead crumbling. So that is going to be the end of the Skull Cannon. Now on the other side, Chaos Knights have gotten into the secondary. Fireborn in a very blunderous situation. They have gotten 1000 HP off of Valkia, but this is just all bad. Like, Bloodletters do great AP and magic damage. So you want to pull away with the Fireborn. This is a game-losing play right here for the High Elves, in my opinion. But we'll see if they can pull back from it. I think that's going to cost them way too much. Rangers moving up. Rangers going to get massacred by Bloodletters as well. But the Everqueen's Court Chads, they are really good against demonic infantry. They're able to set up in the tree line. Maybe they can turn the tide of some of these fights here. We're going to have to see. Looks like they're readjusting their targets to start shooting at the Chaos Knights. But unfortunately for them, some of the Marauders do get through. And Fireborn are just being left to their own devices. I mean, they did take about 1,500 value or HP off Valkia, so it's not the end of the world. And they are, you know, trading surprisingly well. Even though they didn't get any charges off and they're being attacked by Minotaurs, you know, they're doing their thing. It just goes to show how good of a unit they are, right? The fact that even if they're in a bad situation, they're going to trade well. Oh, Sword of Khorne with the steel chair. Nails the Everqueen's Court Guard. Beautiful stuff there. That is a big game changer. Several of the elite units of the High Elves have been taken out in rapid succession. And those Fireborn should never have been there. They should have been pulling back and securing the backfield. Like, pull the Fireborn back, use them to kill the Marauders and all these units penetrating into your backfield, and then secure your bows and then value push back. But I think that's GG now. With the Everqueen's Court Guard getting hammered down by that, the Fireborn being, you know, basically fed to the dogs there, I think we're going to be seeing Khorne ending the day here. So, yeah, GG, well played, probably. Khorne has got this one in the bag. Opal Blackbear with the Sword of Khorne steel chair, keeping Valkia alive as well. Probably going to be a tap out that we see here in just a moment. Going to be a very quick game, mind you. There will be a lot of matches going down to the wire, I would imagine, so we may have some downtime in between the next match. Archer's still firing away. Everqueen's Court Guard are pretty sweet, but you got to really babysit them and watch out for that indicator showing where the Sword of Khorne is going to be coming. Although it is a very fast ability, it's kind of hard to dodge it. When Khorne drops his sword, you know, he means business, and yeah, it's going to be very, very tricky. So Fury's coming on in, going to rip apart these archers. No Reavers to counter them. Reavers are really good in this matchup too, by the way. Fiery Convocation. It's a cool looking spell, but honestly it's pretty terrible in my experience. Soul Quench is just the way to go. you're going to get a lot more guaranteed consistent value. Warlines of Grace are also, yeah, a good counter against the Furies. They are anti-infantry, so Furies are infantry-sized, so they should rip them apart. But that's it. GG, well played. You know, you can't lose the Fireborn and the Everqueen scorecard in, like, the matter of 30 seconds and just be okay. You're going to have a bad time. Eltharion going to go for a little bit of revengeance here. So he does get on top of the attack of Valkia. Valkia going to be popping the Demon Shield, and looks like she is going to be able to get away as Eltharion the Grim disengages, and, you know, he's like, hey, at least I got the Demon Shield out. It has a relatively long cooldown, I think. Yeah, 2 minutes, whereas Tempest is going to be off cooldown much sooner, if I'm not mistaken. So he could get a Tempest and probably get a kill on Valkia, or at least get her routed off the battlefield, but none of that matters, really. Yeah, this is the end of the road here for the Elves. It's just a complete massacre at this point. Everyone's being chased into the trees. 1800 value lead. It was a good fight, though. A good scrap by Rogue Consultant. He played well. Just a couple little mistakes cost him. Like, his play was pretty clean, with the exception of the Fireborn being left in combat. Like, he didn't make too many colossal mistakes. So, yeah, well played. Valkia does end up getting taken out as well. So she's, you know, she's done her thing. She's going to run back to Khorne and, you know, figure things out. As Eltharion the Grim, at least he got one minor victory out of this battle as he does glorious combat here with the Chaos Furies. And look at the Mistwalker's Barrage, actually doing some serious work there. Cool to see that ability actually do something, as it just shoots right into the center mass of those Furies. And yeah, Homeboy just wants to go out on his shield with Eltharion the Grim, so. Khorne is a pretty one-dimensional faction, yes, but, you know, they have some unit variants, like the Demons, the Mortals, the Heavy Cav, Monsters, Behemoths. So they have a lot of stuff. You know, they can do it. But yes, of course, Warriors of Chaos and Tabletop feel the same way. I mean, like Nurgle and Khorne don't. I mean, they feel a little bit different to play, but often they'll use the same units. Whereas in Tabletop, Tzeentch is the one that feels really different to play, because Tzeentch is just so heavy duty on Wizards that it changes that paradigm quite a bit. Dude, yeah, the Everqueen Scorecard. Yeah, they need some modern weaponry to deal with these demons. That's right. Valkia rallies with 1 HP. All right, that's the proper Valkyrie of Khorne. She's got 1 HP, and she's ready to go back in and fight for the Blood God. You gotta love to see it. Although, man, Eltharion's been pretty chad this game. 2,200 value on him, so he's probably just about paid for himself. He's pretty cheap. Depends on what you bring on him, but looks like he's going to be heading to the backfield and trying to support some of these units. We got Silverhelms coming out, and the High Elf player, you know, he's probably in the zone right now. He's just trying to grind value where he can. You may be thinking there's still a chance, but I can tell you from experience, there is no hope. This is the end. This is the apocalypse. This is the metaphorical end times. Not the real end times. That never happened. But yeah, it is going to be it. Does the Khorne Marauder, does Khorne get Marauder Horsemen in Tabletop? Yes. So how it works in Tabletop is you can put Mark of Khorne on any of your units. So you can get Marauder Horsemen, Marauders. I'll show you after this, as a matter of fact. We can look at the Old World Army Builder, and I'll show you guys what's cracking there. Chaos Furies get nailed with the Tempest. It does a little bit of damage, but also it slows them down. He's going to be coming back here. The Grim Warden is trying to help the homies out, and that's very strange looking Tempest. Is it actually hitting this unit? It's like it's on the Furies, but yeah, it looks like it maybe is hitting these guys. Very, very weird. Yeah, it's over though. Very cool stuff though. Always fun to see Eltharion fighting. But I'll show you guys what the Warriors of Chaos look like in Tabletop. My favorite army to play in Tabletop is Tomb Kings and Empire. Empire, I run a double Hellblaster volley gun list, which is so fun. When it pops off and you're able to just like mow down a whole line of heavy cav coming at you, it's like one of the greatest things. Yeah, Demogryph Knights with the Hellblaster volley gun, man, just chef's kiss. Yeah, Tabletop though, all the gods get Marauder Horsemen in Tabletop, yes. But like in Tabletop, it's more like Warriors of Chaos than it is Mono God. Like you can pay for marks, although there is no limit to marks. You can have as many as you want as long as you pay the points for it, right? Yep, GG, well played. It's going to be ending here soon. On the bright side, when this game ends, we are going to be getting into the next round rather quickly. I don't think we're going to have to wait too long. Khorne is just like, Khorne is just grinding into their deployment zone, just trying to push them back here. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I was actually asking for this. Oh yeah, everybody gets Marauder Horsemen in this, correct? Steam Tanks are okay in Tabletop. They're pretty good. But honestly, I think my list is, I think, better than my Steam Tank list. The Steam Tank is good, but if you bring a Steam Tank in Tabletop, you cannot bring 2 Hellblasters. And because there's a weird way that the points work with the certain slots. Yeah, and it looks like Eltharion probably finally going to be breaking here. But yeah, you can't bring it. And the Fire Chads do come back out, but there's a legion of hellish Marauders here. Great to catch you live. Been loving the Age of Mythology FFAs. Thanks for the content. Hey, thank you, man. The Age of Mythology is great. Total War is great. Legion, you know, all those games are great fun. He's stubborn as a dwarf, that's right. He's going for the skulls and the spawn point. Yeah, he is. GG, well played. Both players played a good game. It was relatively contested early on, but Opal Blackbear took over that game pretty hard in the mid game. You know, despite like the Chaos Knights maybe getting wrecked by the Fireborn, the Chariots were microed in a relatively sloppy faction. They shouldn't have been left in melee. They should have been pulling out and charging into the Bloodletters, but still a good match. GG, well played. All right, so let me check the tournament here, see how we're looking. We're going into the 4th round of regulation. Yeah, the top 5 factions were banned today. Top 5. Okay, so let's show you guys the Old World Army Builder. Here we are. All right. Let's fire it up. There we go. Okay. So this is my Empire list, by the way. It's very, very good. I mean, Empire is one of the weaker factions, but this list, I did win a tournament with it. It was not the most competitive tournament, though. There's only 12 people there, so it's pretty small, but still, it was able to get a tourney win. Basically, what you do is you run an Illusion Wizard with Ruby Ring, and you give him the spell, which is super good. It's called Miasmic Mirage. So you cast this on enemy monsters, and it makes it so they can't march or charge you, which is super brutal, right? So if you get this spell off on a dragon, there's 500 points just sitting there for 1 round. It's great. I run double Empire Engineer, and they're going to be sitting with the artillery because they have Master of Ballistics. So what they do is they give you rerolls. If you misfire, you can reroll with the Engineer, which is really nice. And then I run a General of the Empire, Karl Franz, basically. And he's on an Imperial Griffin, just dirt cheap. He just runs bare bones with just a Talisman of Protection. And he's a bully character. He's not good at fighting other monsters, but if you send him after like things that are weaker than him, he's really good at taking them out. State Troopers, just 2 handguns, 2 units of bare bones Empire Knights. I just use them basically to deal with hounds and enemy skirmishers. So if like they're sending in things to get your artillery, these guys are just there to kind of screen those guys out. And then just some sword and board because you have to pay 500 points in tax, right? From there, I run double Great Cannon, 2 units of Demogryph Knights, and double Hellblaster Volley Gun. It's been a very effective list. It requires a lot of positioning, but overall it's good. So for Chaos, Warriors of Chaos, here's how it works. All right, there we go. So if I get like a Chaos Warrior, right, you can choose to pick any of the marks. If you pick Khorne, it gives them Frenzy, which gives them an extra attack and makes them immune to Psychology. And also, it makes it so they have to charge if they can. So they can never not charge you. So sometimes they can be like lured into traps. Yeah. On top of that, we do have Mark of Nurgle. This one makes it so whenever somebody's trying to hit you in melee combat, if they roll a 6 to hit, they have to re-roll it. So it makes you harder to hit. Slanesh is okay. It gives you +1 initiative. And you pass any panic tests. It's like a Walmart immune to Psychology. And Tzeentch is probably the worst one. It gives you flaming attacks and magic res. And also, it's not the worst, but it can give you bonuses to casting rolls if you have a wizard and a unit of Marked of Tzeentch. That's cool. But yeah, so that's kind of the tail of the tape for tabletop. Anyways, let's see how we're looking here. Outer region with the dreaded buy round. Okay. 2 games left to go. Let's see who the top players are right now. Oh, okay. Poison is number 1. Scrambled Egg Special is number 2. Charix is number 3. And yeah, we got our top 4 starting to kind of take shape here. Charix, I think, is playing Skaven today. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. What is a good starter paint brand? You know, it really depends. Like, what are you painting? I need more details. Personally, I just use Citadel paints because most of the tutorials online use Games Workshop paints. Even though they're a little bit overpriced, I still use them and mix in other paints every now and then. Just because the tutorials are in that, so it's easier to follow for a beginner, you know? So if the end times do come to Total War, what would your thoughts be? I know it's rumored, but not confirmed. How would you feel about it? Oh, it's whatever, you know? I think it'd be fine. I would happily take some end times units like Blight Lords. Oh, what are those guys called? The Nurgle, like, elites? Like, it would be like Nurgle Exalted Champions, basically. They're something Blight Lords. Putrid Blight Kings. Putrid Blight Kings. I don't care. Yeah, bring some end times units in, whatever. As long as we don't get Sigmarines, I'm happy. How's Khorne versus High Elf win rate? That's right. Let's go look. So, Khorne is currently sitting at literally 50% of the dot win rate. And against High Elves, they have a 40% win rate. So, High Elves are actually favored against Khorne. Not by much, but by a little bit. Yeah. I'm painting Bretonnian Citadel. Yeah, Citadel is expensive. Honestly, Jonas, I'm probably the wrong person to ask that question. I would recommend going to some painting channels. I know Duncan, the guy who used to work for G-Dubs and started his own brand. He does a lot. There's so many good hobbying channels that can give you more info about paints that I would recommend checking those out. No. Yeah, so Khorne is actually not doing great against High Elves, which makes sense. Fireborn just are, like, counter so much of the roster. Yeah. All right. So is the last round ready? Let's go ahead and check. Nope, still the one game going. Maybe a little bit laggy. I don't even know what you do as High Elves against Khorne. Let's see. We can piddle around here and have some fun. I'm not very good at High Elves. Just a bit of a disclaimer there. I do like Eltharion, though. I felt like he was pretty decent. He was a menace. You can go with Larry, too. Larry's pretty good because she imbues healing, right? So maybe you go Larry with Tempest and Earthblood. And then you can get rid of this. The Shield of Isha you could probably cut since they do so much magic damage and keep Star of Avalorn. Life Bloom is good. Shield of Saphri is pretty good. Boon of Isha is great. It gives magic damage to all nearby units. So if you run her with like the Fireborn, that's going to be pretty nasty. For the front line, I didn't hate the Spearman Corps. You know, you don't want to give them good quality infantry usually. I would recommend against Khorne like heavy skirmisher corps. So I'd probably run, you know, like 3 or 4 of these, maybe just 3 is going to be fine. Yeah, so that's like your starting army out of the gates, right? And then you can even have Fireborn in the starting army if you want to, just so you don't have to worry about like saving up for it. Chariots, you know, the magic damage chariots, you could do Narnia chariots, but I think the lions are going to be fine. You could bring Rahagir's Pride. A couple of these guys probably to rip up the Marauders. A couple Silver Helms, maybe 3 of those are fine. And then Reavers. Like, your mobility is really your best friend here. I don't hate the Everqueen's Court Guard. I feel like maybe just like 1 sister here could be kind of a cool tech. So you could do something like this out of the gates. Yeah, I don't hate the starting army, actually. This feels pretty good. So you would run Larry. She can give magic damage to any unit. So wherever you need magic damage, you just kind of move her. I don't like the elite infantry. Rangers are okay. You can bring like 1 or 2 rangers just to give you some stopping power. And aside from that, let's see. Do you want to bring a Tyrannok chariot? Don't know about that. Basic archers like Lothern Seaguard are okay. So you can have a couple of those for your infantry call-ins. Kind of leaves us with a bit of an odd amount of money, though. Maybe we just do the Storm Riders, the ROR, and then just get, like, you know, 1 more good piece. Just in case there's some warriors. Although we have the lions, right? The lions are pretty good against the warriors and infantry, so maybe something like this. I didn't get Earthblood, did I not? Oh, yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, so we would need to adjust this a little bit. Probably just cut, you know, the Shield of Saphri or whatever. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, Earthblood there. That would probably be a build I would like a lot. I think that'd be pretty good. Because, like, you can deal with the elite infantry by archer focusing them, and then also, like, Everqueen's Court Guard, Larry with War Lions, because then you have magic damage, anti-infantry that can take apart Bloodletters, right? I think there's a lot of elements of that could be pretty good. But again, I don't really play High Elves, but just in my anecdotal experience, I think that'd be good. But the High Elves are a very diverse faction. They can do a lot, right? So let's do Charax versus Poison. So let's do that. Yeah. Okay, so let's get Charax in here. The Pride of Poland. Lobby code, please. All right, so we messaged Charax, and I don't know who Poison is. Poison? Who is Poison? Is this like a Smurf or something? Some evil tactics? Oh, no, it's not. Okay, it's an RTK player. They just got it. Okay. It's a new member of our. Usually RTK has, like, even their newer players are very good. All right, that makes sense. So we're here with Charax, the champion of Poland, the Pierogi King. Let's see what his lobby code is. Okay, he always puts a different password, so he's a sneaky hobbit here. Yeah, I would put her on an eagle. Yeah, I would put her on an eagle, so she doesn't get hunted. She could just run away from Valkyrie nonstop, right? There's no drama. So we got Tzeentch here. Tzeentch is going to be the playmaker. And yeah, let's see what they're playing. Should be fun. Tzeentch, very strong. A very good faction. Need Silver Helms to fight Khorne Dogs. I had 2 Silver Helms in that build, yeah. And Fireborn. So that's enough to fight Khorne Dogs. And Reavers can kind of fight Khorne Dogs. It's not great, but they can hold them up and do a little bit of damage. Yeah. If you have Larry with them, they'll win that fight because the magic damage will be really good. And then Larry, of course, is a decent fighter on her Eagle. Then you have fat heals. You know, you can heal your Fireborn with Earthblood. Yeah, maybe with Larry, you want to mix in one more monster. So I think maybe putting a Phoenix in your build would be a good idea with Larry, because she's really conducive to healing elite units. So you hope the Changebringers come? They probably will. They probably will. Frostlight, stream for the stream gods. Palps Cackle, you want it? Okay, hold on. Let me get my stream deck out here. There you go. I have a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, see? Do it. I need to raise the volume on that. It's kind of quiet. That thing I haven't used in so long. It's literally just gathering dust in the corner here. I tried some Skaven today, and I don't think I've lost a game this hard in months. Skaven are actually good, Reginald. They've been winning a couple SFTs here and there, but they require a lot of like experience. You need to like play the Skaven often. They're not easy. They're like, you need to practice them. They're not like, you're an extremely good player, Puggington, who probably can just pick up most factions in the game and like win and perform consistently. But Skaven are one of those factions that if you don't know the intricacies of their units and like really the nitty gritty of them, I find them very hard to win with. Huzzah, more Warhammer. That's right. Daramaka, thank you for the donation. Greatly appreciate it. Yes, yes. And here we are in round 4 of today's tournament. We have the these are the 2 top players in the tournament right now. They're both going to make top 4, so this is like a preview potentially of the grand finals. Dwarves versus Tzeentch. Now this is definitely a dwarf favored matchup in my opinion, but Tzeentch can win it. Centaurs of Tzeentch are a huge breadwinner in this matchup. They crush most of the dwarves, but so they do struggle against Slayers still, right? So they might be good, but not when used by me apparently. Yeah. Skaven or stressful? Valkia is going to hunt Larry. Yeah. So if you're playing Hiles versus Khorne, yes. Valkia will chase Larry, but who cares? Larry is faster than Valkia, and if she wants to, if you have good micro, you just run in circles. You're going to be casting spells, and Valkia is going to be generating no value whatsoever. It's a bad idea to chase Larry, unless she lands somewhere and, you know, gets trapped or whatever. Did I miss something else? Frostlight, stream for the stream gods. I did the Palpatine cackle for him. Yeah. No, we got it. Did you guys hear the Palpatine cackle? I hope you did. I need more Sons of Osiris, I know. We'll have an Age of Mythology event this, I don't know about this weekend, maybe like Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, we'll have to see. Larry is fast and very sassy indeed. Wow. So I suspect from Charix it's going to be either Marauders or, I don't know. Do we see Zangors in this matchup? I'm really curious how he's going to approach this actually. Yeah, I'm really curious. Made my day. I'm glad it made your day, Ninja. I'm glad it did, Ninja. Celestial Lake is a hard map for shooting. There's a lot of trees and random elevations that make it a little bit hard, but cannons are okay, I guess. But like handgun units can struggle. But dwarves, you're probably going to see long drawings, pirate slayers. Gyrocopters are not super good against Tzeentch. I don't think. The Furies can chase them. Although, I don't know. The Steam Gyrocopters are kind of busted. And I usually ban them from my tournaments, but Outer Region doesn't. He allowed them today, so we'll see how good they are. I am the one they call Turin. Yes, it is I. It is I. Does Spell Mastery affect healing amounts of live magic? I'm not sure, actually. It's a good question. I think it does. I think it does. I would assume it increases the value of any spell that has a value that can be increased or decreased. Yeah, Zangors are probably good against dwarves. Yeah, Silver Shields, enough armor to hold their own. Warriors are also not bad because they can really just hold their own for a long time and allow your other elements to do the heavy lifting. Aecold Hellbrass. Against dwarves, I would go Aecold and I would go Village actually. Just have like the hero core, Aecold, Village, and I would use the big Vortex ability to like nuke down dwarf positions. Although I don't know, dwarves can swarm you with just trash infantry. Tzeentch spawn used to be good here. People used to use Tzeentch spawn before the Centaurs came around because they have armor sunder, or at least the ROR one does the weird spawn. I can't remember if the other ones do. Yeah. Hello from Slovakia. What's up, Jakob? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. My games today have been Charix, Martin, and Outer Region. I'm so tired, but yeah. Dude, you're getting the killer's row, dude. I've had tournaments like that where it's like game 1, Houseplant, game 2, Outer Region. You're just like, you know, you'll play Houseplant in round 1 and he'll beat you. And then you go to round 2 and then you're like, what the hell? Outer Region apparently lost to someone good. And then you're just like, oh, it's just like all micro suffering. Yeah. It's good though. It's good practice, you know. It's how you get better. So, you know, hold your head up high and, you know, keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. Yeah, normal Tzeentch spawn do have Sunder. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Angel's ready, and Charix is soon to be ready. When are we going to have a tournament where you check the allow multiple lords box? Oh my god. Some factions would be really OP. Some would just not get any benefit, right? Like, some factions don't have any good lords. Like, dwarves would just be so sad. They would just get, like, you know. But then, who would really feast from having multiple lords? Nurgle would probably. You could have, like, Kugath and an Exalted Great Unclean One. Just, like, 4 Mortis engines with, like, 10,000 HP running around. I'd say Dowie versus Tzeentch should probably be... yeah, I definitely think it's Dowie favored. But we have the data. I mean, why do we need to speculate, right? That's why we made Total Tavern. So let's see. All right. So Tzeentch is a 50% win rate faction. Dwarves are 54%. Tzeentch against Dwarves are currently... Where is the Dwarves? Oh, it's a 50-50 matchup. Holy shit. Okay. Today I learned 50-50 matchup. All right. I'll be right back. Gonna grab some water, and this game should be getting started in just a moment. All right, guys, it's go time. Let's get it. The Dwarves, pretty standard stuff. The double Demon Slayer is extremely cost effective. 600 gold, you basically get a Legendary Lord. Absolutely nuts. And here we go. I'm not sure, Pablo. Someday I will. That's for sure. I live really far away from any tournament scene for the old world, which is unfortunate. Burning Chariots. Yeah, Burning Chariots are freaking awful. They're so freaking bad. Oh, God. We need to train Stockfish and Deep Blue to play Total War if we want to find out who's actually favored. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. So Ryan says, Turin, stoked you're streaming. I'm at work and celebrating that I just submitted for... Nice, dude. Let's go. Job security, baby. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. That is kind of the scary thing about YouTube, actually, is like, you never know, right? Like, when you're an employee, you know, you have a degree of protections in terms of job security, but with YouTube, you just never know, right? Like... Is YouTube just gonna, you know, die out, or like whatever? Is the game you're covering gonna die? Yeah, it's always scary. Remember, 25% goes to Turin. That's really great stuff, though, Ryan. Congratulations, brother. We're here for you. We're here to entertain you. 60% goes to Nomi also. Yeah, it looks like the percentages are being cut up pretty quickly. Yeah, you see what I'm saying about shooting on this map, though? You have all these, like, it looks flat, but when you go down, like, a cannon is gonna, and guns are gonna struggle. Like, you have to get up on the hills. Here, there's a lot of like little elevations and indentations. Archers won't have any problems, but guns, yeah, they struggle. Yeah, you get it, Ryan? Yeah, you know how it is. Yeah. You get it. All right, so loading in, we have some potato connections. Hopefully it's not too laggy. This is the 4th and final round of regulation. And yeah, should be good. From here, we go to the top 4. And we're gonna be feasting. Doing the semis and the grand finals. The good times will roll. Yeah, Burning Chariots are just such trash. They're really bad. Prof Pone gets the scraps always. Yeah, we've done a video series. We did 4 videos on terrible units. I'm pretty sure the Burning Chariot was in there. I don't know. There should be some really fun and sweaty the old world tourneys in Kansas and Oklahoma next year. Nice. Sets up movies and video games and have an open bar. Oh, that sounds so fun. I'm super jealous, Pablo. We have a really good old world scene in California, but it's like almost 3 hours away from me. It's like 2.5, 3 hours. It's like close to San Diego, and I live much further north. So unfortunately, like when I want to go to a tournament, I have to like, you know, really like trudge it down there. Not only do I have to pay to enter the tournament, which isn't much, but the cost of gas to just go play in an old world tournament is going to be like a couple $100, which is rough. Yeah. I'll take what I can get. Yeah. All right, guys, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Angel with the purple Dowie. I think purple Dowie looked very royal, very cool. But yeah, battle line and dwarf warriors. What's the hate there? It's great. We got blasting charges in the secondary to take down marauders and chaff and demons. Rangers to shoot down any big threats. A couple bolt throwers, or just one bolt thrower, which is super good. I mean, they're so cost effective at just shooting down big chickens. And a dwarf lord, and of course dragon slayers, which are a god tier unit. Now, looking at the Tzeentch army for Charix, the pride of Poland, he does have a front battle line of chaos warriors of Tzeentch, so he's got a whole bunch of those. With some Marauders of Tzeentch on the far side, Flamers of Tzeentch on the periphery, and those things, of course, very good against dwarves with good micro. If they can avoid the guns and the bows and just kind of get these good angles, they can roast dwarvish infantry really, really hard. And you can use them in melee as well. They do have decent combat stats, so if you have like a really tattered dwarf infantry, you can move them in. Yeah, it's going to be warriors, so really just looking to hold for a long time, using the 100 armor in the stat line, and an exalted chicken up in the sky. And it looks like he's going to be using Tzeentchian magic, and it is going to be the Infernal Gateway, which is good. If you can catch down some of those, some of those dwarf warriors and those other pieces, it can do quite a bit of work. Is Angel a really good land battle player? That would explain why they're doing so well. I didn't recognize the name, but they probably just have good micro and good control anyway, so cool to see. Cool to see. I feel I live in Northern Ontario and have to play, yeah, you got a 2-hour drive too, player. Yeah, I feel you, man. I have one of my closest friends does live close to me, and he plays Old World, but he only has one army, and we can only play like once every couple weeks usually, so yeah, it's tough. But we do see the gyrocopters getting chased by the chicken. The chicken is going to keep them in check, and the Long Dong Slayer Pirate of Karak Dive Bar are able to get a couple nice shots into the Exalted Chicken, and it's going to want to run away from that fight for sure. Now, who's going to be getting the side objective? That's going to be the big deciding factor. We see the proud legions of the Dawi surging forth from the hills. There they go. And the Warriors of Tzeentch. I mean, this game, I know Total War is really janky in many ways with, like, you know, how things like the RNG of like attack animations and other things like that, but like the visuals of this game, as far as like RTS goes, like there's nothing that can hold a candle to this. Like, look how freaking cool this is. Like, growing up, anyone who played RTS game, like these kind of visuals and armies colliding is like what we all dreamed of, right? And I guess that's really why this game, you know, stays going. But the Warriors are being very apprehensive. They must be some Tzeentchian scheme. Charix with a bit of a micro blunder. What is he doing? He moves up the Flamers here? Charix usually doesn't blunder too hard. Okay, he moves point blank range and tries to shoot the Dragon Slayers, but he's eating a lot of shots. Looks like Charix is going to be fleeing the scene now. Warriors have engaged against the Dwarves, but he let him get the objective. And there is an Infernal Gateway going down from the chicken, cooking the Rangers up pretty good. As a matter of fact, pretty much KOs that unit, so those Dwarven Rangers going to be fleeing the scene. We do get Furies being called in to go after the Gyrocopters. And look at this, the Gyrocopters with their rotor blades getting in there and going after the Flamers. That is very, very interesting. You wouldn't expect to see them going into melee this quickly, but these are the OP steam cannons. So yeah, those things are very, very nasty. And they're going to be pulling away as Charix does get his big chicken to chase it down. But so far, the Dwarves are crushing, absolutely crushing Tzeentch on value this game. 2,200 against 350. I mean, this is pretty much a massacre. So Dwarves are pushing into the secondary now. We do see the Dragon Slayer as well as the Dwarf Lord penetrating in. And Rangers are going to be taking out the Lesser Demons, the Sour Guts, and these various pieces here. Charix and his Flamers here getting melted very, very badly. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. This could be a quick game. If this value doesn't turn around in some way, shape, or form and it continues to go like this, I do not see the forces of Tzeentch being able to hold much longer. This back objective is still being held by Tzeentch, just barely. The Flamers are trying to get value where they can, but it seems like they're really struggling to connect. I mean, yeah, the angling there, that's not even really good damage against those miners. Now they're going to be pulling back and trying to reset and maybe get another shot off here. The Marauders trying desperately to hold the back objective with some Zangors. Over here on the side, we do see the Flamers of Tzeentch ripping some shots in. The value is now 3,000 against 1,000, so pretty brutal value so far. The Great Chicken, though, he's probably putting this game on his back. He's doing the most work. As we do see the Rangers here getting melted by another Infernal Gateway, so that's going to be some nasty, nasty stuff. We do see about 60% damage, 70%. It's going to keep going for a second longer, and those Dwarves do get cooked pretty badly. So he is methodically taking down some of these units. Furies are going to get on the Bolt Thrower, which is a great value. Bolt Throwers are insanely good as well. Value on the Bolt Thrower, the only 200 so far. It looks like it has been getting dodged for the most part. But Dwarven crews are very stalwart, and I think that they're going to hold their own. The Slayers were nearby, and they are going to be able to defend that. And now we get Centaurs of Tzeentch coming in. Value currently 3,700 against 2,000. Charix is kind of squeaking the value back a little bit. I think he's a good enough player that he could still come back from this situation, but it ain't going to be easy. Dwarf Warriors are getting cooked here by the Flamers of Tzeentch. So that's going to be some really, really good firepower coming in there as it does rain from downtown. Warriors holding their own. So we got Warriors here and Warriors here holding against the Dawi. And these Warriors, of course, are going to be these Dwarf Warriors. No surprises there, and the Chaos Furies do get taken apart by the Slayers, but probably some decent value in the process. On the back objective, the Dwarven Lords as well as some Dwarf Warriors are on their way in. And now we get the dreaded Changebringers. Okay, this is interesting. A big chicken in danger, though. A bit of a blunder by Charix, and a really good play by Angel. Angel sees the opportunity to get on top of the Exalted Lord of Chicken and is going to be chopping that thing up. But look at the Changebringers. Yeah, huge damage against those Dwarf Warriors there. We're going to see if he's going to be able to stabilize that. He needs some Centaurs of Tzeentch back here to probably clean that up. But Charix does actually steal his opponent's back objective. So he gets the Centaurs and some Marauders back there. He steals it. Centaurs do charge into the Slayers here, but unfortunately, he does get a lot of them trapped up. And now he's going to be moving into the Thunderers here. So we do get a gun unit being called in by Angel. Interesting choice. I feel like the bows would be a little bit more cost effective, but he probably wants to get the chicken. Centaurs of Tzeentch just doing absolutely disgusting damage, by the way, so they're able to mow these guys down. Looking at the points right now, we do see currently, yeah, Dwarves are, I believe they stole the home objective, so they did. And Dwarves are up pretty considerably. Tzeentch trying to scrap on this point, but the Dwarven missile fire saturating in, melting a lot of the flamers and the various the range units that Tzeentch is bringing to the table. The Changebringers, though, are cooking. 6.4 against 4,000, so still kind of that 2,000 value gap is being maintained here by the Dowie. There is going to be an Infernal Gateway being dropped here, and the Centaurs of Tzeentch do finally get routed off. Here comes the Tzeentch army ability. Really, really nice cast there. This is going to be nailing down that Dwarf Warrior unit. It's only a 500 gold unit, but honestly, there's not really that many good targets. Although, arguably, maybe dropping the Tzeentch army ability on these multiple Archer units would have been a little bit stronger for sure, but I mean, you still do KO a unit, so it's really not, terrible by any stretch. Now, is there any chance for Tzeentch to get their back objective back? It's going to be super hard to kill that Dwarf Lord. We do see the Changebringers setting up shop here, and they are going to be getting ready to roast into these Dwarf Warriors and maybe friendly fire their own homies a little bit. The Chaos Gods are fickle. As far as the objectives go, Dwarves have one, and they got this one, and Tzeentch did manage to wrestle the side objective with their Warrior Core, and a couple Zangors coming out of Vanguard as well, but Charix is just so massively behind on value. This is just going to get harder and harder. He does have some regeneration via the chicken shields, the Protoss shields that Tzeentch does have. So maybe the value isn't quite as bad as it looks, but it's still pretty rough right now. Changebringers, what kind of value do we see on them so far? 900. Dwarves usually don't present a lot of expensive targets. There are some matchups where you see elite Dwarvish infantry. Very few, though. Most of the time, it's going to be junk because their chaff units are just so cost-effective. But yeah, in this case, Changebringers still disruptive. They can get stick and move and go after value targets. In the backfield, the Centaurs did rally, and it looks like they tried to take down the Bolt Thrower crew. But the Dwarven artillery crews, they didn't hear no bell. Very, very sturdy. It's kind of like that in tabletop as well. Like Chaos Dwarves, for example, are toughness 4 in tabletop, and even their artillery crew is toughness 4. So if they get attacked by like a weak, strength 3 unit, they can actually sometimes fight them off, which is pretty funny. But usually they'll die, but sometimes they can. All right, does Tzeentch have any chance of getting their objective back? Angel in a very dominant position, playing extremely well this game. Very, very clean Dowie play, good micro, good decision making all around. Charix has been desperately scrapping to try and get value with his Exalted Chicken, which has gotten only 1,400 so far. Because again, most of the targets it's going after aren't super valuable. Mostly junky units. Here we do see some Longbeards coming in, so this is going to be the first kind of presentation of good quality Dwarf troops. Longbeards are extremely good. I think some of the more cost-effective mid-tier infantry in the game. Super good melee defense, immune to psychology, and yeah, pretty decent offensive output at 32 as well. Dragon Slayer is battling it out versus Zangors. Tzeentch managing to hold on to the objective. Tzeentch does have a double cap somehow. Somehow Palpa Tzeentch has returned and is holding on to a couple objectives. And I mean, is Charix going to find some way? Is he going to find some way to win on objectives? I mean, he is an extremely seasoned domination player. If anybody can, it's certainly going to be him. And Centaurs of Tzeentch going to be emerging from the shadows. They're going to be getting a beautiful rear charge here, and they're going to be annihilating these Dwarvish infantry. So you're going to see these poor Rangers and Longbeards are like, oh, it's a trap, and then they just get punted. Yeah, Centaur is going to be sending those Dowie flying into the hills, -13, -35, and that position is folded up pretty hard. Here we do have Longbeards. Where are they going to go? Are they going to go after the range units, or are they going to sandwich into the back of these Dwarf Warriors? Yeah, Tzeentch still managing to hold on to these points, which is pretty nuts. Maybe they're going to get it? I mean, I don't know. The value difference is so big, though. We get another Infernal Gateway, just melting down these Thunders. Charix has been an absolute terror this game with that chicken, by the way. Like, every time there's, like, a high-value gun unit, or, like, a shooting piece, he just melts them down. My only concern is, like, calling in all these gun units, he might struggle to get up on the objectives with those in time. I mean, I guess he's still ahead on points. The Dwarves do have the point advantage, so they have a little bit of time to kind of work with it here. The Centaurs of Tzeentch doing brutal freaking damage, running over another Dwarf Warrior with great weapons. And this is like where it can get a little bit scary for the Dwarves in the late game when the formations are broken and it's just kind of chaos. Chaos is obviously going to be thriving in chaos. So we do get the Centaurs of Tzeentch running into the back of these Longbeards here, And they're going to be getting a little bit of support potentially from some ground troopers. Longbeards will hold for a while here, actually, even against the Centaurs of Tzeentch. Their really, really high melee defense is going to, certainly do big business for them. He needs to keep this Exalted Chicken alive if he wants any chance of winning this game. On the backside, the Dwarf Lords and the Dragon Slayers are getting closer and closer to getting this objective. The Tzeentchian warriors are starting to lose a grip on that, and if the Dwarves get that objective back, probably going to be enough for them. This objective, man, Charax is so sneaky. Like, look at this. He's stealing another objective, really taking advantage of one of the big weaknesses of the Dwarves, which, of course, is their mobility. So the Dwarf warriors here are getting routed off by the Changebringers, and here we see the Zangor stealing this objective, dude. He is such a menace. He's got the dreaded Zoomer micro. He's getting in there, just absolutely ferocious. So Dwarves getting roasted by Changebringers. Are we going to see Tzeentch maybe with a win here? I'm starting to feel like they might surpass the Dwarves on points and maybe start to threaten the win. Yeah, maybe. So 11.4 against 7, so it's a pretty substantial 4,000 value lead, but with Tzeentchian healing, it's probably about 3,000. A couple Furies going after the gyrocopters here, and we do see the big chicken in the back. Is this going to be the time where the chicken folds? Rangers do have their sights, their crossbows zeroed in on him, and they're going to be immediately shooting, so the chicken's going to be fleeing the scene. Gyrocopter's going after him as well. If Tzeentch loses their chicken, they probably lose the game, guaranteed, so keeping that chicken alive and just running away and regenerating whatever shields you can is going to be incredibly useful. And the Centaurs of Tzeentch, man, are just putting in such work. Just disgusting. They rotate back here and they stabilize this objective for Tzeentch. Tzeentch is, oh my god, does Tzeentch have them triple capped right now? They do! Tzeentch has the Dwarves triple capped. Absolutely insane. Just a testament to how insane Charax's micro is. He is just all over the place. And the value, the battlefield looks closer than you would think. We have the Changebringers here. They're about to run out of ammunition, but not before they cook a bunch of these Rangers. Dude, he is just like an absolute terror, intercepting things all over the battlefield, and this is a good map for that too. It's like very spread out, and he can definitely take advantage of his mobility. Blasting charges going down and melting those bad boys, and Charax for the first time in the game has passed them. The Dwarves did manage to steal the home objective of Tzeentch, but the Centaurs are going to be coming back with some healthy infantry. So we see some Marauders, and they're probably going to get this objective back. And yeah, Charax just needs to hold long enough to make it a Helm's Deep situation, and maybe he's going to get it. Looks like the chicken died, so that's going to be hurting the leadership of the Tzeentch army by quite a bit. It's going to be a negative 16 penalty, which then will translate to a negative 10 penalty after the initial shock wears off. That's how it works. So when your lord dies or flees off the battlefield, you take an immediate penalty. I think it's for like 10 or 20. I can't remember how long it is, but it's like you take 16, which is like the heavy shock, and then the troops stabilize at negative 10 after that. So yeah, just something to take note of there. Couple Changebringers coming back in. The Marauders do arrive, and another Centaur unit has arrived on the battlefield. And the Dowie, I think the Dwarves are going to lose this game. But Charax's micro with his mobility has been so good, and he's been really keeping the Dwarves off the points. The Dwarves need more Slayers in their build for sure. They don't seem to have much to deal with the Centaurs. Those things are just running rampant. The value is obviously a big advantage here for Angel, but the value meter is sometimes weird. Like, I've noticed that the value meter doesn't always track magic, so there's a heavy chance that this value meter did not track any of those vortexes that the Tzeentch chicken was casting. Sometimes it does. It's weird with some spells, but there's all sorts of weird stuff. But up in the sky, we see the Furies running interference. Charax does have the double objectives, and the Dwarf Lord back here is still just being a troll with his Dragon Slayer. Marauders got him tied down, and the two Centaurs going to be flipping that objective as we do see the Zangors heading up to the point here. On the backside, more Zangors coming out of the Vanguard deployment, going to be heading towards Objective 3 to make that even tougher for the Dwarves. And yeah, honestly, I think Charax is going to win this game. I think that it definitely was a throw from the Dwarves, but with the value meter being a little bit funky, you can never rely on that. You still need to assess the battlefield for what it is, and take a close look at that. All right, looking around here, we do have the Rangers moving in to try and get objective trace. Centaurs of Tzeentch, though, are just going to butter their bread. They're going to definitely make some cornbread out of these guys, and you can see they're thinking about it, but I think they want to also stay close by to deal with this. So we'll see which direction they go. But the Zangors are pretty stalwart. They're not as durable as they once were. They were really OP when they first came out. But now they're in a pretty balanced state. 50 armor, it's enough. And they also do have 38 melee defense and Protoss shields. So they're bringing a little bit of Starcraft tech. And these Dwarves here are going to get wrecked. I mean, these Dwarvish infantry isolated on their own with no bows, no Slayers to support them. I think there's a big lack of Slayers in this build for the Dwarf player, which is just allowing these cav and these large threats to kind of run rampant and just cause a lot of havoc. So, all right, up on the point here, we do see the Zangors arriving, but the gyrocopters for the Dwarves are here. It is going to be triple cap situation pretty soon. And Fury's on their way over. Zangors are holding. Nice bombing run there by Angel. Oh, nice. He's getting just a huge Scorched Earth bombardment. Unfortunately, he's got these Rangers. Rangers are going to do nothing against Zangor, so maybe they'll flip it. Dwarves are still just very resilient, even in kind of a bad situation. Is it going to be a triple cap situation? That's going to be the question. If he can get this objective quick enough, maybe not. Furies do get a nice rear charge in. Maybe going to be able to rout off some of these Rangers. The point is flipping, but yeah, those Rangers getting torn up. They only have 40 armor. Their melee defense is okay. The Furies, though, do have 37 melee attack, and yep, that's probably going to be GG. I think if these Rangers start to rout, they're going to lose their capture weight, and Charix is going to stabilize that. He has to get this objective. Like, if he gets this objective right now, oh man, he should have moved these Rangers up in the point. Little things. It's the little things, right? If these Rangers had moved up on the point, he might have actually been able to capture that, but now the Centaurs of Tzeentch come across and absolutely punch these guys in. Absolutely punch them in. So I think that we didn't track the Tzeentch Vortex value, and if he captured that like right there, there's a chance the Dwarves can win on 2. It was really, really tight, but at that point, Charix showing why he's one of the dark gods of domination mode, but what a good performance by Angel. Angel apparently new to domination mode, but coming in and he almost had a crushing defeat of Tzeentch. Like, it looked like it was going to be a crushing defeat, but somehow Palpatine has returned, and Tzeentch was able to scheme and use their mobility to really cause a lot of problems. Yeah, Chicken at 2,000. I feel like he did way more value than that, but I don't know. Centaurs did good. Well, I mean, they paid for themselves. It wasn't like they got more value than they cost like around that much. So they did good, but it wasn't like anything insane. The Dwarf Army did have 3 Slayers, I guess, but yeah, I really dislike the Thunders in this matchup. I don't know. I know it is direct shooting, but, or at least on that map. Don't know. Hard to say. GG, well played. That is it. And now we're going to go to the top 4 here. And I would imagine we're going to be pretty close to the top 4 after that super sweaty game. Regular spells are tracked, but army abilities don't count towards damage value. Got it. Got it. So it wasn't tracking the Tzeentch army bombardments and things like that. All right. That's fair play. Okay, couple games left until we get to the top 4. So far, the top 4 is definitely going to be Scrambled Egg Special. Alexander and Poison and Charix will probably be our top 4. I guess it depends. If Hlydden wins their game, is Hlydden still playing? No, Hlydden lost. Okay. So top 4 is coming very soon to a neighborhood near you. Angel won this land battle. Yeah, lost to Dominant. Yeah, he definitely would have won that if it were a land battle, probably. Yes. Yes. Yeah, next weekend we're going to be launching Anna. So Anna's been working on a t-shirt business where she's doing all hand-drawn designs by Anna. So we're going to be launching our t-shirt business next weekend. So it'll be launched with the Faction War. So when we do the Faction War, we'll show you guys, and maybe we could send some of the t-shirts as prizes to the winners. That'd be fun too. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Rolling. Show us your. I only played a couple turns of the Grimgore campaign, like 15 turns. I was just messing around. I really don't play campaign very much. Yeah, I really don't. It's just I'd rather play like either multiplayer of this or like Legion Tower Defense or Age of Wonders or something like that. So yeah, so the t-shirts, it's not like merchandise for the channel. It's its own thing. So I mean, eventually we might add some merch shirts just for fun. Anna could design one of those and throw them up on the website, but yeah, it's like all sorts of stuff. It's like usually most of the t-shirts are themed around animals, like with like comedic elements on them. So it's going to be like possums and raccoons and cats and dogs, all that sort of thing. So no, it's not merchandise related to my channel. We're trying to start like a merch is one thing, but like this is more of a legit business. We're very excited for it, and she's a super talented artist. So yeah, it's going to be great. Your Belagar Ironhammer campaign is one of my favorite Warhammer campaigns I've ever watched. Oh my god, my whole army got wiped on like the first episode. I just like marched into Wurzag and just got crushed. Yeah. We could like at some point maybe open a line of merchandise on there where Anna can do some, but we can't do Warhammer stuff, right? Because Games Workshop will come in and just judo chop us in the neck. Sounds good. Yeah, send me the cat one. Yeah, that would be perfect. Anna will show you guys in chat. She'll come into chat and show you guys. The Wookiee Claw logo? Yeah, Wookiee Claw is great. That was a really good comeback, by the way. That was amazing. What's going on? So the Old World channel is on hold to an extent right now because I don't have anybody to play with me on the regular basis here. So it's literally impossible to film battle reports. I mean, not impossible, but it would take a massive amount of I want to be able to put out 2 battle reports a week, right? And right now, I have a buddy who can play once a week, maybe. And it's just logistically, it's too difficult. So when we move next year, we're going to move next year. This is our last year in this area. I'm hoping that the new area we move to, we can find more people who would be interested in like filming and recording, and then we're going to start it from there. So James Workshop will get you, dude. You better watch out. He's gonna get you. You don't want to mess with them. All right, what do we got here? One game left for the top 4, and top 4 is going to be Poison, Alexander Nuts, Scrambled Egg Special, and Sharks. So we have Tzeentch. Scrambled Egg, what was he playing earlier? He was playing Vampire Counts. Tzeentch, Vampire Counts. Alexander is playing, I think, a Chaos Faction. Let me go ahead and double check that and see. Alexander, what did he queue up as? There's no Chad Chowie in the top 4, sadly. Oh, we have Vampire Coast. So we have Vampire Coast, Vampire Counts, Tzeentch, and then also we're going to be getting. Let's see what the 4th faction is. Dwarfs. Okay, yeah, pretty standard for top 4. All right, there we go. Yeah, so I think our top 4 is more or less set. We're going to see. Yeah, I mean, I have friends to play Magic with, you know, but like getting people into Old World is hard. Like if you didn't play Warhammer before, or you're not into tabletop wargaming, it's a hard sell. You know, it's a very complicated game. It's expensive, so it's hard to get people into it. I don't have a battle report channel yet. I will eventually. Yeah. Speaking of Old World, have you seen any of the stuff about the? No, I don't know what that is. The universe. I don't know what that is. Go ahead and you can send me a DM about it on Discord, Ryan. I'll check it out. Glad to get my Warhammer fix during my night shift. Hell yeah. We'll get you through it, Phoenix. One way or the other. We will rise together. All right, so where is the top 4? I think we're just about there. We could see a rematch. I want to cast a Vampire Count game because Vampire Counts are, they don't often make it to the top 4 of these events. So I'm going to probably cast the Counts game. Yeah, we haven't gotten to the top 4 yet. We're still waiting for that one. There could be a tiebreaker that could matter, I think. Let me see if there's close tiebreakers. Yeah, maybe actually. No. The top 4 is actually guaranteed, I think. Christopher and Via Anime. Are any of them even close? No, nothing can actually affect the top 4 right now. So Outer Region could just technically advance it, but I'm in no rush, so we're fine. I'm happy to chat with you guys a little bit longer. Convincing people to pay outrageous amounts of money for bits of plastic you have to assemble. It is Shetland, but, you know, for example, I have a friend. He's extremely, extremely crafty. And he plays High Elves in Old World. And his entire High Elf army, he has every High Elf model, everything. His entire army cost him maybe $80 to $100 in resin. Because he has a resin 3D printer. And he just printed a third. There's like Highland Miniatures and other companies that do like, you know, basically Warhammer Fantasy knockoffs. And he has an entire High Elf army for $80, something like that. Dude, you know how much money people spend playing Magic the Gathering? Like buying Commander singles or going to Friday Night Magics every week? That is like so cheap to get into Warhammer if you know somebody with a resin printer. Yeah, like Homeboy, like he just gets his entire army's $80 or something like that. It's insane. It's insane. And it's good. The models are great. Like they're high quality. They don't look exactly like the Warhammer ones, obviously, because they have to be legally distinct. But they like are perfect substitutes. Yeah. Oh, did Anna drop a link here? Let's see. Let's go. I'm buying that Raccoon Lake Blue shirts. Hell yeah. Where's the link? Did I not see it? Oh, there it is. Perfect. Yes. Yeah, that one's really good. That one's really good. Show him the Darth kitty. I think that's going to be one of the. Yeah, Anna's going to show you guys the Darth cat too. Hold on a sec. Let me turn this on. I'm getting a phone call, and it looks like it's spam. Yeah, spam. So that's probably one of the greatest things about doing YouTube for a living compared to what I used to do. My old job was awesome. I loved it. It was definitely a passion project, and it was definitely one of the best experiences, like of my adult professional life. But yeah, man, I was like on call basically 24/7 and just constant phone calls all day, like all night. It was nuts. I thought GW wouldn't let you play with custom printed armies. Dude, Shetland, nobody plays at Games Workshop stores. Games Workshop stores, like, you'll occasionally get like a 40K or a Sigmar game in there, but like, I would say 80 to 90% of wargaming takes place at local game stores or at tournaments, right? Or in people's garages. And none of those, nobody cares about 3D printing in the tournament scene. Games Workshop literally hosts like one tournament a year or two maybe. And, you know, community tournaments are the backbone. Like, they're way bigger and more important than the Games Workshop ones typically. Yeah, so that doesn't matter. Nobody cares about that. Yeah, but I used to get phone calls all day and all night. Yeah, it was pretty savage. All right. So I think we're in the top 4. Let's go ahead and check. Are we in the top 4? We are. And we're going to do Poison versus Scrambled Egg Special. Dwarves versus Vampire Counts. I kind of want to see how that goes. Counts. Okay. So Vampire Counts. Scrambled. A lobby code. All right. Check out that link that Anna just dropped there. That's one of the shirts that this is very much the style of the t-shirts, right? Like animals with humor, and occasionally there will be some cultural references here as well. But this is I think my favorite one that she's done. Yeah. So this is gonna be, I think this is gonna be a good one. Let me know what you guys think. Let's get some feedback. Yes, perfect. You want to get into the old world so bad? Yeah, it's great. That shirt is so good. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's perfect. It's like it's anyone who's a cat owner, I'm sure they can relate to that as well. All right, Angel. Where are they? Okay. Okay. Perfect, perfect. And we're gonna get into this game here in a minute. Okay. I think this is it. I'm not sure. A quote I use almost daily. All right. So we got Vampire Counts versus let me see here. Okay, just checking without a region here real quick. And we should be good. Yep, so we got Dwarves versus Counts. I don't know how this matchup goes. Probably a lot of Graveguard and Cryptors. My wife would probably love that, yeah. It's great, definitely great gift ideas for any cat owner, yeah. Okay. People say 3D printed models, even in, it's like officially they shouldn't, yeah. Okay. The Tithe gonna solo those gyrocopters? I don't think so. The zombies are just gonna get scorched earth, probably. I mean, dwarves are pretty favored against Vampire Counts, typically. But we'll see. You know, Scrambled Egg is very good. Like, let's look at the stats of this. It is... so dwarves against Vampire Counts are... Oh shit, it's actually, there's not many games played. There's only like 7 games, so the data doesn't really mean anything. Yeah. Yes. It's go time, baby. Who do you guys want to win? Yeah, we'll be launching the website next week. So, and everything will be ready to order. Everything's set up. We just got our first sample orders in today for the shirts. They look great. And I'm pretty sure it ships to Europe and you know, yeah, all over the place. Yeah, no, Vampire Counts have definitely been more of an underdog in Warhammer 3, which is nice to see. They were tyrannical for so long in Warhammer 1 and 2. Like, man, they were just evil Dark Lords for so long. But now it's all coming together. Rise, champions, rise. Battletech. I don't think I ever played that. Are you talking about the game Battletech? I never played that one. I'll get some shirts for sure, as long as the postage to Australia doesn't cost a mortgage. Yeah, man, I feel bad for you Australians with that. That's so rough. Like, when I look at the prices, have you guys looked at the prices for Games Workshop middies going to Australia? Oh my god, let's look at this together and just pour one out for our homies in Australia. All right, so here we go. So if we go, here we are. Okay, so we're on Games Workshop. So we're gonna go look at like, I don't know. Let's go look at some Space Marines, right? We'll look at, oh, man, there's so many chapters here. Jesus. Imperial Fish, sure, why not? Dude, is this real life? Like, you're paying $77 for this guy. Is this this combat patrol with like 10 minis is 280 Australian dollars? Dude, like, why? That is so brutal. Like, dude, nobody in Australia is going to buy these, right? You guys have just got to be 3D printing. This is just foul how expensive these are. Like, look at these. This like steam tank that's like a 30-year-old model is like $100. Oh my god, yeah. Jeez. Like, look at these minis. These minis should be like $20. These should be like maybe a $40 kit, maybe $49. But you're paying $94 for this. But it's just like the prices aren't this bad for other regions. It's just Australia. Australia just gets absolutely wrecked. I don't know why. It probably has something to do with the logistics of the, you know, shipping things there and whatnot. But as an Australian, we have to pay a lot for anything imported. Yeah. You guys get wrecked pretty bad. I feel bad for you guys. Yeah. Look, I'm telling you, this is after we were skipped on several price increases. The difference to us is still that much bigger. Oh my god. I would pay that much for painted models. Yeah, yeah. We have a 3D printer we use for terrain. So we have a plastic printer, a PLA printer. So there's two types of 3D printers. There's resin, which is much better for small detail, and then there's a plastic printer, which is really good for big terrain pieces. So it really depends on what you're trying to do. Resin is exponentially better for printing minis. But if you're printing like houses and castles and like landscape terrain, then plastic printers are really good. And the good part about plastic printers is it's not toxic, right? Like resin, you have to cure it. You have to wear gloves. You have to wear a mask when you're working with it. Like it's very, very, it can make you sick if you don't take proper precautions. But the plastic printer, you can just, you know, it's totally safe, right? It's not like some nasty chemicals all over you. But yeah, we get gouged because we have buying power. Is that really the case? I mean, there's a lot of countries with tons of buying power and they don't get gouged like that. I think it's just the logistics. Yeah. And I heard local stores in Australia. Yeah. Yeah, okay, fair play. There's actually, man, you know what I've been doing for my armies recently too is while we wait for this game to start. Okay, they're still waiting. Okay, so we're fine. If you go to the Lord of the Rings game, Middle Earth, Evil, yeah, we could do Lord of the Rings Evil. Like, there's a lot of minis from the Lord of the Rings game, which are actually really good for Warhammer: The Old Worlds. Like, for example, for the Empire army, what I do is I use, where is this? Okay, so yeah, let's go back, and we'll go to more Middle Earth. Lord of the Rings is good. Like, for my Empire archers in my army. I mean, these are obviously the Australian prices, so it's just the pain train. But like, I will use the archers, like the basic Rangers of Ithilien. I'll use them as my Empire archers. I don't know where they are. I'd have to look through all this, but yeah, the Lord of the Rings minis make for good proxies for some units. Yeah, I'm just imagining a 30s gangster deal in the alley for 40k minis with Australian accents. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's like these shady backwater deals, imported goods. Yes, correct. Yes, any cool concepts you guys think would be fun for t-shirts, you could hit Anna up. She's the Dark Queen of Art. Tourney's going well, yeah. So we're in the semifinals right now. The winner of this game is going to be advancing to the grand finals. All right. Perfect. And here we are. The Dwarves versus the Vampire Counts. Is the power of Halloween going to be carrying us into the sunset? Find out on today's episode. Oh yeah, Sir Nicholas is awesome. I don't know if you're here in chat, Sir Nicholas, but he designed it. Anna, do you have a picture of the Demopug Wookiee? I think I might have it here on my desktop, actually. I'll show you guys in between the next game, but he custom designed a demogryph character, like a character mounted on a demogryph with Yeah, with myself riding it with the Warhammer, it's really good. Yeah. The Dwarves did lose last game, but they had such a good tiebreaker, Adolfo, that they were able to qualify. So how it works in the Swiss tournaments is you play 4 rounds, and at the end of the 4 rounds, whoever has the strongest scores, including tiebreakers, advances to the top 4. So you have 2 undefeated players, and then 2 players who lost 1 game, but they had the strongest opponents. So they advance to the top 4 from there. Yeah. Having a regular 3D printer, but I keep chasing my tail in the settings and get frustrated with it. Yeah. It's well, do you have a plastic one, or do you have a Professor, or do you have a resin one? Yeah, let me know. I'm an STL designer, says James. They're also sometimes doing my designs in art channels. Nice, right on. Yeah, 3D printing is amazing. It's so good for the hobby, for like D&D, like any game. Like there was a time when there was miniatures that came out like in the early 2000s and 90s and whatever, that like if it was just out of print, you just like, it was so rare to get it. But now with like 3D printing being as prevalent as it is, and like the technology being there and printers being accessible to that, the average person who doesn't really have that technical expertise, like you can just play any tabletop game. It's such a boon, it's such a boon. Oh, this is not a new map. This is a map that is a custom design map. It's one of our Total Tavern maps, but it's been around for a while. All right, guys. Yeah, not an elimination tournament today, Adolfo. Yeah, I do those quite often, though. Yeah, we can go to that. I'll send a link. They turn the stats on Total Tavern, just domination. It's just domination. Taco, yeah, just dom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the semifinals of today's tournament. It's going to be the proud Dowie looking for vengeance after being defeated by Tzeentch in the previous round, but their front battle line is going to be miners, which makes sense. They can beat zombies and skeletons, and the blasting charges will eviscerate the vampire infantry. We got rangers in the secondary of Barrack Var and, Belagar Iron Chad, hell yeah, with double Dragon Slayer, Longbeards in Deep Reserve. Yeah, so pretty elite infantry corps, actually, in this match. This is a matchup where you can bring elite infantry, but Winds of Death will give them the dirty. And we all know that Scrambled Egg loves his Winds of Death. All right. Now, yeah, there's the tutorial. If you guys see the link, Anna just put it in chat. That was designed by Sir Nicholas, who usually hangs out in streams. And Anna painted it. So I use him as my demographic characters in Warhammer the Old World. It's so good. Yeah. All right, so for Scrambled Egg Special, he's going to be rocking a Master Necromancer for the spell kit. What does he have? He's got, Invocation and Double Raise Dead with the Scroll of Power as well. And we got White Kings, Corpse Carts, Graveguard, Sword and Board Graveguard, not going with the great weapons, rather going to be going for sustainability instead of killing power. And, okay, there are a couple great weapons on the flanks, it looks like. There is one right here. Corpse Card action, so really just a standard Vampire Count army. Corpse Cards, Infantry, monsters, and Cav soon to be called in as well. Yes. So here it is. The Ekron's Miners are here and ready to party. And on this side, we do see the mighty Belagar Ironhammer. He's the true lord of Karak 8 Peaks. He's marching up. Such a cool character. Yeah, Belagar's rad. Look at the beard. Just powerful. I'm growing a beard right now, too. It's pretty damn terrible. But you guys will see it eventually. You'll see it eventually. It will happen. Gyrocopters are cruising up, and Dwarf Warriors all up on the points, and it looks like the Dwarves are going to triple cap the Vampire counts out of the gates, which is not something you hear terribly often. Usually the Dwarves are the ones being triple capped by the much faster armies. Scrambled Egg Special are going to be calling in the Vargeist, and these are elite anti-armor specialists. If they're going to be diving on Dwarf Infantry in the back, they will rip them to shreds super quickly. Dwarves, obviously, their answer against them is going to be shooting them with bows, attacking them with Slayers, characters, whatever, different things like that. Yes, camera. Man, I haven't used a webcam in years. Well, probably not where I live now. It's not really conducive to a webcam, but when we move and I get like a little bit more of an optimal setup, maybe we will. I've never really liked using webcams, though. I don't understand the appeal of it, Like, I don't want to look at somebody's face. I guess it is funny if there's like moments that, like in a horror game, for example, I think it's really good in those type of situations. Like, I don't know. If you guys really wanted to, we could, but... Yeah, Dwarves being faster on the objectives is very strange. The Vampire counts are playing uber cautious, and the reason why the Vampire counts aren't attacking yet is because they want more stopping power. They've seen what the Dwarves have, and they're going to be calling in some tools against it. So we see the Graveguard with Great Opens arriving, Vargeist up in the sky, and probably going to be seeing another elite unit before they decide to dive in. But how are they going to be engaging? It looks like they're engaging on this side. And we do see this coming here. So zombies and Graveguard. He's not engaging in the middle so much. He's just kind of playing cautious. It looks like he's just going to be trying to overwhelm one flank. And that's a good idea, right? Like, commit a disproportionate amount of assets to this flank, whereas the dwarves are overcommitted to the middle. So what's going to happen then is the dwarves are going to panic, right? They're going to be like, oh god, I have to go help this. And then when that happens, you move in like that and take that objective. So that is kind of the idea. Yeah, that is kind of the idea. Don't underestimate the power of the human face. Okay, well, you know, maybe someday we'll do it. We'll do the dreaded webcam stream one of these days. All right. So in the back, we see the Master Necromancer dropping a skeleton summon on top of the archers, which is a great skeleton or zombie. Looks like it's going to be zombies. Zombie. And here's going to be another zombie summon. So the Necromancer, he has 2 rapid-fire summons. It looks like he himself is going to be attacking. Scrambled Egg Special, an absolute menace here. He does move in. And in the back, these Dwarven Rangers are being torn to absolute shreds. The dead rise from the earth around them, and the children of Halloween, they move in for some big damage. Yep, they're going to be gorilla slapping these poor dwarves. And on the front, the Grey Opens are going to be getting here soon as well. Another Vargeist being called in. The dwarves are going to rotate, and just like we talked about, the dwarves rotate. And that's when Scrambled Egg Special sounds the horn of war and starts to move in with everything. So what do we have here? Zombies and zombies. This is also really good, right? He has 200 gold worth of units right here, and his opponent is committing 800 gold worth of units to guard them. So little nuances like this in domination mode are very, very important, right? The tactics of it all. Oh, look at this. We do get the Iron Drake Trollhammer Torpedoes. Nice. And they rip some fat shots into the Necromancer there. So the Necromancer gets taken down really, really hard by those shots. And in the tree line, we do get the Gyrocopter shooting down the Vargeist here. So the Dwarves looking for vengeance from their last game. He's up in value once again. And the Dwarves do have the triple cap, right? So it's going to be on the Vampire counts to try and steal this objective. Invocation going down. It was dropped on the Vargeist to try and keep them alive. But the Gyrocopters are, causing a lot of problems. That is for sure. White King's arriving up at the point. Graveguard will eventually get through these Dwarven troops. Man, the Dwarf player, Angel, seems really good with the bombardments. I don't know if he's going to do a bombardment right here, but he did position in a way where it looks like they're going to be dropping a fat Rex bombardment. Looks like just steam cannons for now, but yeah, this objective could flip to the Children of the Night. We're going to have to see. Value is heavily favoring Angel, but that makes sense, and vampires have healing. They're usually behind on value, but then kind of claw their way back. And here comes the big gorilla punches. So yes, it's going to be the Vargeist ripping up these Iron Drake Trollhammer Torpedoes. Invocation going down on those. Scrambled Egg going to be hunting them down and maybe looking to drop a zombie summon. And now we get Cairn Race. Dude, Scrambled Egg treating us to the full Halloween smorgasbord as we do get the Cairn Race, which are actually a niche unit against dwarves. You don't want them as a frontliner, but as like a fast support piece with 50 movement speed and armor piercing, they're actually not terrible. But again, you don't want them to be taking the brunt of it because they're very squishy. But yeah, moving them in a situation like this could be good for flipping that objective. But my concern for the Vampire counts is the Dwarves are just very stalwart, and letting the Dwarves triple cap, I think, is very tough, right? They're going to be cackling all the way to the bank right now, and we do see the Vargeists, getting poked a little bit. The old Rangers may be able to get them down. Trollhammer Torpedoes, though, do get dispatched. Scrambled Egg is really, really struggling to get the objectives. Is he going to start flipping this one anytime soon? No, man. Dwarves still have the capture weight on this objective. That is freaking brutal. But the Graveguard Grey Opens, no surprise. They dominate the Dwarven infantry. Now they're going to be sweeping around the side with their dreaded 28 movement speed, looking to see if they can maybe get on top of these Rangers right here. And maybe they will. But still, man, the Dwarven capture weight is holding firm. They're not relinquishing that objective. And as far as the middle goes, it still looks pretty good for the Dowie. We have healthy Slayer units. We do have Longbeards hanging out here. Graveguard are getting through their prey, but he's going to have to triple cap on me. I mean, the points are brutal right now. It's 900 points. These zombies, you know what you could do with these zombies? You could maybe set them up right here, like as a roadblock in case the dwarves want to reinforce. You could do something with that. I don't really know. So magic damage is not bad against dwarves. Spell damage is bad against dwarves. That was something that was changed in Warhammer 3. So there's a difference. Magic damage does not count to spell resist. Spell resist only affects spells. It does not affect magic damage. So that was how it was in Warhammer 2, but it's not how it is in this situation here. So Cairn Wraiths move it in, and still a little bit of capture rate for the Vampire count, so they are getting a little razzle-dazzle here. They're starting to get some momentum. More Cairn Wraiths being called in, so very spooky build. Up in the middle, we see the Master Necromancer cackling and running about, but the Dwarven Steam Gyros are just causing tons of havoc. Value so far, 1,400, and the other Steam Gyro is going to be sitting at 336 right here. And it looks like the Dwarves are likely going to be going to the finals to face the winner of the top side of the bracket, which is going to be maybe a Dowie versus Tzeentch rematch. We could see that. You know, that would be an interesting one to see the adjustments that both players make. Up on the top side here, we got zombies coming across, just lots of chaff units, and we do see the capture weight slowly starting to flip. Slowly. And the only problem I see for the Dwarves is the fact that the value is kind of close. You know, it's 6.7 against 5.6, which is really not where you want to be as the Dwarves against vampire counts, because they have a freaky amount of healing, right? We've seen at least 3 or 4 invocations, so that could be a issue, right? So vampires do get objective number 3. And now they're going to be trying to swarm towards this objective here. In the middle, they are slowly starting to flip it. Okay, guys. Could we see Scrambled Egg Special with a comeback here? Maybe. Graveguard on the way up, and there are going to be a couple zombos over there on this side. And we do see objective dose going down. Bombardment from the Gyrocopter right here does a nice bit of damage against those Graveguard. But Count Chocula and the Vampire Counts, dude, he's doing it. Man, Scrambled Egg, like every game we've seen Scrambled Egg in, we're like, he's losing, he's down in value, he's triple capped, and then somehow Palpatine returns. You know, it's the weirdest thing. So Khorne Race are going to be able to defeat these Dwarf Warrior Grey Opens pretty easily. We do have another Khorne Race sitting here, so it's probably going to be pretty stable in that point. He does get this objective, and now the Dwarves have quite a bit of time, right? They're gonna you know, be in danger of losing this back objective. We get zombies and Graveguard heading towards this point. A couple zombies are getting ready to jump on that objective here. And yeah, the Vampire Counts, man, just the comeback king. Scrambled Egg Special. Look at that. So what is it, 8.1? He actually has passed the Dwarves in value here, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely insane. So Khorne Race dominating Dwarf Warriors here. We do get the Dragon Slayer battling it out versus Graveguard. That's going to be like a 45-minute fight that nobody's going to win. And on this side, we see Objective 2 firmly in the control of the Vampire Counts. We got the 2 White Kings defeating the Slayers. Some Graveguard units, which are in good shape, with a healthy Corpse Cart here, which is going to be providing perpetual healing to those units. Just super gods here, and another Khorne Wraith, which is going to be making its way towards the back objective. So now the push for this point is on the way. 2 zombies do get on the point, full capture weight. Graveguard's going to be there, and the Master Necromancer, he's just been flying around, palpatining in the sky all freaking day. He's probably going to be coming over to maybe drop some zombie summons. So we'll have to see what he's going to do. Trollhammer Torpedoes called in, probably going to be nailing down that Corpse Cart. That would be a good idea. On this side point, Scrambled Eggs, Khorne Wraiths are just crushing it. Man, who would have thought Khorne Wraiths would be this good? Yeah, that's interesting. So here they come. They're moving into the fight. Blasting charges are on the way in. Nice little salvo there, but the Khorne Wraiths are going to terror out these guys probably, because they're a very cheap source of terror. And even Dwarves, despite their good leadership, if they're this low, boom, terror out going down. Another terror out, 1, 2, and 3. Should be another terror out right there, right on time. And those guys all get pushed off the objective. So really, it's just going to be tar pitting these Dwarven characters. And Scrambled Egg is also flipping this other point. Oh my god, what a madman. Hex Wraith's coming in. Look at that. Oh my god, he's getting all the spooky units, dude. The Halloween King is here. And he gets in with those Khorne Wraiths, and they're going to rip up these Dwarven units. Man, that is going to be some big damage, as the French would say. Is that actually how you guys say it in French? Obviously not. But yeah, man, look at that. Full rout. Just terror out on those Dwarf Warriors. This is the spookiest Halloween build we've seen in quite some time. And the Dwarves are severely lacking magic damage. And you know how the Dwarves counter this is they bring the Doomseekers. Doomseekers annihilate Khorne Wraiths, and they're really fast too. So that would have been nice, but he does not have them. And Scrambled Egg Special, oh my god. He looked like he was going to get karate chopped, and now he's just in such a dominant position. He's just annihilating the Dwarves on every position, pulling apart this Dwarven army. Hex Wraiths are going to move in and probably sweep over these Iron Drakes. The Master Necromancer is going to be dropping a... Oh, Master Necromancer, he's getting in the face. He's going to drop a zombie summon that will buy him a little bit of time. Invo going down, Scrambled Egg with the Dark Lord Micro. And Belagar, he's trying his best, but I think that's GG. I think it's... The Dwarves can fight for a while, but if they don't have Doomseekers, I think that they're going to be struggling to deal with... yeah, like, what Rangers are going to do nothing against this army. They're just going to get tar pitted. And yep, the Hex Wraiths are coming across the battlefield. Dude, oh, so cool. I like that, like, we can enjoy Vampire Counts now. They were so villainous in land battle, but in Dom, I think they're pretty fine. So they get in here, and yeah, beautiful charge right there. They get in. They're going to be cleaving through these Dwarves, and we do see the Dowie getting chopped up. And Dwarves have become more of the villainous faction, ironically, which is kind of funny. Yeah, this is GG. I think it's over. I don't know if the Dwarves are going to... I mean, maybe if they can recap this one point, but Scrambled Egg is going to... Oh, yeah, he's got a Mortis Engine coming in. The fourth quarter Mortis Engine is such a good closing piece. Early on, it's not very good against Dwarves because their shooting can take it down, but late game, when the shooting is more chaotic and compromised, you can call in the Mortis Engine and just drain stuff down, right? That's going to be just bread and butter right here. So the Dowie making one last push for this objective, but the capture weight does remain in the clutches of the Vampire Counts. On this side, we do see the Dwarves with a bit of a resurgence. Vampires might need to park a Hound unit here to make sure they don't lose this point. Yeah, I mean, Dwarves could still win it. I mean, if they manage to get 1 point back and just, like, hold it, But, you know, he's gonna be out of the triple cap situation pretty quick with this. And we do see the vampire counts maintaining a value lead, which is really bad for the dwarves. A couple rangers coming out of the tree line, but man, these freaking hex wraiths are just the ghost riders, dude. They're Nicolas Caging right now. They're gonna just crush these rangers right now. And gyrocopters are on the way back in. The unholy menace is here, but the Mortis engine of the gods has arrived, and the rangers have been sent in melee, which means they're gonna get caught in the mortis. And here comes the hex race. Oh, the spookiest charge. Halloween 2024 up in this game. There they go, as the Master Necromancer gets a nice little engage as well. We see the Rangers getting taken apart, and up in the sky, Gyrocopters, a good counter against the Mortis, but it's going to take them a while to kill it, especially with some invos. And the Mortis engine is going to drain all these units and also heal the Vampiric units, right? So it's going to be an absolute disaster. On Objective 1, the Dwarves do have the capture weight, but Scrambled Egg is able to waddle over a Graveguard unit. They got the sword and board, they have that anti-infantry, and they're going to be feasting on these Dwarf Warriors. For sure, they will crush them very decisively. Dwarves making a bit of a play for the middle, but the Hex Race can just kind of swing back, and what's going to be called in here? We got Graveguard coming out for Scrambled Egg. They're going to be making their way up to the point, but yeah, you got to watch out and make sure the Dwarves don't flip this point. They might be able to get something going here. This objective looks very secure at this point. I think there's so many spooky units here, it's not going to make a difference. Master Necromancer is still cackling around there. And the Hex Race, though, they're not the chill guys, but they do have Frostbite. So they Frostbite the Dwarves down to 23 speed, which is going to be buying time for the Vampiric reinforcements to arrive. I think this side is completely secure, but really good play from Angel, by the way. Like, noticing the weaknesses in Scrambled Egg's formations and trying to capture this objective, but I think it's just going to be too little too late. The Hex Racer are now going to be charging into the Rangers, and that will kill them before they can probably capture it. Nice zombie summon block. Scrambled Egg blocking the advance of those Dwarf Warriors right there. So he gets a beautiful intercept right there. Just great, great instincts. And now we're going to be seeing the melting of these Rangers. They still have the capture weight advantage by quite a bit. With the Mortis engine coming over, though, that's going to be changing the dynamic of that. So here they come. Mortis engine is on the way. And here comes the drain. It's going to be the bump and drain. You know, what kind of work are we getting here? Yep, Dwarves are getting drained down, and the Vampires do get the capture weight back. So it's still a triple cap situation, but not for much longer. There will come a point where the Vampires can win on 2, and it's going to be like in the next like 20 or 30 seconds. He's going to be able to win on 2 objectives, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Dwarves tap out at that point. You know, the Rangers get annihilated. You know, he's very desperate right now. He's sending a lot of Rangers in, but yeah, they're not going to get it done. Over here, what do we got? Objective number 3. Vampire counts are holding this one down, and yeah, it looks like Scrambled Egg Special once again, the comeback king, looking like he was in the absolute pits of hell and the previous couple games, and he's able to get it done. So very, very good stuff. What do we got? We got the Rangers here getting rode down by the Hex Wraiths, and yeah, that is it. It's no longer a triple cap situation. The Vampire counts can now just win on 2, so the Dwarves have basically lost the game. There's nothing they can do here at this point. And GG, well played. You guys talking about painting minis in chat now? Painting yellow over black primer is hell. Oh, dude, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. You know, just get white primer. It's going to be a lot easier. Yeah, just get like Wraithbone or Hex Wraith or whatever. Or Hex Wraithbone is the primer. That's my favorite one. Yeah. All right. So Vampire counts in the grand finals. That would be very, very suiting for a Halloween tournament, you know, Halloween, close to Halloween tournament, still, you know, a little ways away, but we're getting there. And what did really well? I mean, dude, the ghost units, 1200, 1000, 1600, man, beautiful stuff. And Angel played really well. Shout out to you, Angel. You were a Chad today. You came in, and I know you're newer to RTK and probably to domination mode, but you have a bright future. Once you really get the meta down, you're going to be winning these tournaments for sure. All right. So let's host the grand finals and see how we're looking there. Cool. And then a big thank you to Outer Region for hosting the tournament today. Thank you, brother. Saved me the effort of having to do all the admin stuff myself, so that's really nice. Charx is in the final. So we got Tzeentch versus Vampire Counts. I don't know, not know how that's going to go. I have no idea. I think it's Counts favored. All right. Lobby code, please. Another amazing match. We've had some really good matches today. Destroy the Outer Region says, destroy the evil Dowie. Yeah, the Dowie really are the villains right now. Yeah. I love it. That's so funny. All right. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, yeah. Ryan, thank you for sending me that. I see the chat. I didn't put the names together, but yeah, we've obviously been chatting a little bit. I didn't like put the stream. Okay, now I got it. Trench Crusade. Okay, so it's like a tabletop game. Oh, that actually looks kind of cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at this. This looks really fun. I would definitely be down to try it. Yeah, hell yeah, let's go. I love tabletop mini games. I haven't really branched out outside of Games Workshop though. I have Warhammer Fantasy, I have 40K, and then I have Lord of the Rings too, but I need to branch out. Thank you, man. Maybe someday we'll be able to play if we move up there. That'd be a lot of fun. All right. That's going in the book. Here it is. Tzeentch versus Old Bretonia. No, not Bretonia. Obviously, Vampire Counts. He's just Vampire Counts and Bretonia. You know, pretty similar in some ways. They have some heavy cav and scariness. Read the description to chat. So epic. Sure, we can take a look at that. So it's a tabletop game. Let's see. It's Earth in the year 1099. During the conquest of Jerusalem, several Knight Templars discover a relic below the Temple Mount. They forsake the big man in the sky, committing blasphemy so foul that it opens a portal to hell, thus heralding a horrific house of unending battle for survival between humanity. Which, okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's fun. I got to see what the minis look like. Oh yeah, very grim dark. Very grim dark. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I'll have to take a look. We will explore it with great interest. As you branch out, scale miniatures are so much more than just Warhammer. Yeah, I'm excited to get into more mini games. Once I move to a city that has a bigger nerd culture. Where I live now, the nerd culture is almost non-existent. There's a couple like 45-year-old dudes who meet up at a bar to play Commander on Wednesday nights, which is fun. You know, I like it, but everyone's drinking. It's loud. It's dimly lit. So like you can't see what people are playing and people are taking forever on their turns. You know, that's like the pinnacle of nerd culture in my town. So yeah. Proper Nurgle. I will, Paul. I will. Then Palpatine can truly return. Yeah, I could play Palpatine in tabletop. That's right, Alexander. All right, team. What do we got? So, I mean, this has got to be Tzeentch favored, right? Like, they have so many good tools against vampires. So much fire damage and sniping. And I don't know, though. Scrambled Egg, man, he's a menace. You can never count him out. This is a heavyweight fight. And these guys are both top leaderboard players. It is my demographic. Yeah, it is. I identify with the Gen X and elder millennials for sure. But the drinking and the loud, like, look, I like to have a beer every now and then, but when people are so blasted that they don't know what's happening on the table, it's like, yeah, it's tough. I used to run a 40-person Pauper Magic tournament every Monday. That's actually really cool. Yeah, Pauper Magic is fun. I used to play it back in the day. I mainly just play regular Commander now. I only have 3 decks. I have Sauron the Dark Lord. I have Animato, which is the new one from the Enchantress Commander. I have Zozu the Punisher, mono red, just meme deck. It never wins. It literally never wins. It's just everyone kills you and it just hates you. And then I'm working on a mono green deck. I don't know which commander to pick right now, but you know, probably just going to do like a mono green Eldrazi or something, just stompy. Yeah. Charix stomped Coast twice so far this tournament. I hope Counts can do better. Yeah, Charix is a menace, dude. He's the fearsome zoomer. Yeah, he's coming for us. I would play Pauper Commander. I would definitely play Pauper Commander. I would make it. I mean, it's so cheap, you know. Like I would make a Pauper Commander deck. Yeah, if there was like a community that played it, I wouldn't probably like. I would even be down someday to create a Magic channel. Like if I could live in an area where it was easy to do that and just like film Magic games. Like, that would be something I would be happy to include. I, of course, like traditional Commander because I've spent years collecting and trading, you know, valuable cards, and I like to use them, but I do like Pauper as well. I think it's a really cool format. Oh, my God, yeah, the deck box. Do you have a picture of that? You want to take one real quick? No worries, yeah. So Anna made me a custom deck box for my Sauron deck, and it has the one ring on top and the Eye of Sauron and a full map of Middle Earth on the sides. It's the coolest thing. Yeah. So the Dark Lord is there. He's doing great. I did. You know, when I first started YouTube, I didn't really start it, but like 2 years before I started doing like actual YouTube, I uploaded a couple of Magic videos to my channel. They're still up. I had like a microphone that was from like 1998. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, so I was originally going to be a Magic channel, but Warhammer, when I saw the initial trailer of Karl Franz like battling the orcs, I was like, all right, we're going in, baby. And at the I watched Heir of Carthage a lot, and Heir of Carthage got me interested in doing Total War. Trench Crusade has an awesome setting. Heard some. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look. I will take a look. How come he only plays domination and not land battles? So I do like land. I like conquest mode. Conquest, I think, is like what land battle should be. It's like you don't need any player-made rules. But I prefer domination because to me, it's a more competitive format that doesn't require player-made rules or community. And it's a closed environment that you don't have to police the players. They just play the game, they play optimally, and that's that. It reminds me of RTS games that I like as well. I do like land battle, but I don't like policing and having to deal with attacking rules. And sometimes like the optimal playstyles in land battle is like basically cheesing the rule sets. Just barely obeying the attacking rule to either spell kite or, abuse different mechanics. It's still amazing though. I personally do feel that land battle in many situations does have more epic endings, and like when it's at its best and it's not being subjected to those variables I mentioned, I think land battle can be more cinematic and can be more fun to watch at times than domination mode. I do agree with that. But at the end of the day, I do think Dom is like a easier, kind of more fluid, competitive game mode. But again, they're both great. There's merits to both. And, if you're more of an RTS kind of person who comes from other RTS games, I think you'll probably like Dom more. But if you're more of a Total War purist and that's what you played, land battle is probably going to be more for you. But yeah. Oh, dude, Heir of Carthage is the man. He's such a good person too. I've met him in person a couple times. He's super nice. Yeah, he inspired me to get in there. Yeah, he inspired me to do YouTube. He's the OG. That's funny. Heir of Carthage comments introduced me to Turin. Yeah. My first video was 9 years ago. I know, it's crazy. I prefer domination over land battles and conquest. They're both great. They're both good formats. I think Conquest is good though. Conquest is a good sweet spot. It's like you don't need to police the players. The attacking rules are out of the picture, and you just play and have fun. So, Heir is the father we all need. Yeah. What if Dom was without buying units? I think you need to have the reinforcements for it to be functional. Yeah. And I've been watching you for years since Total War 1, but got my first game PC last week, so confused to where the land battle bids had gone. Yeah. It's domination was made by the individual who made domination mode. He's an absolute Chad. He's a YouTuber now. He was before, but you can look him up on YouTube. His YouTube name is Nakamura RTS. He's a hardcore RTS like YouTuber. He does like Age of Mythology, Halo Wars, Spellforce, like just every modern RTS game you can think of, he covers. He's a really smart guy, really, really good RTS player too. And so he used to work at Creative Assembly, and he created domination mode, and then he was the one who kind of worked it up to be in a very good spot before he then left. So yeah, shout out to Nakamura. He's the man. He is the man. Like without him, we probably would have just had land battle at Warhammer 3 launch, which would have been fine. Eventually we would have gotten Conquest, and I think we would have been in a really good position. But I do have one like lament about Warhammer 3 competitive. Like as great as domination is, and as great as Conquest is, like I wish everyone played the same game mode. I really dislike the fact that we have two separate communities that play two separate competitive circuits. Like it's really unfortunate. Like if the entire Total War community, like including the land battle community and the Dom community, just played one game mode together, I think the Total War community would be so much better. We would have more players, there would be more events, the prize pools would be bigger, it would be more epic, there would be more talent in the various pools. It is a shame. That's my one lament. And I hope that whatever big fantasy or sci-fi game they do next, it will just have one game mode that we all play. And that's going to be feedback I give to CA, like very heavily. I'm going to be like, hey, one game mode for multiplayer. Let's do it. Yeah, Dom is interesting because not only do you have to micro, you have to macro. You have to like plan unit strategy and like long strategy as well as the objectives. But yeah, domination kept Warhammer alive for me. I was so freaking down with land battles. Yeah, me too, Puggington. I was kind of burnt out on land battles from Warhammer 3 or 2. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is go time. Let's get this party started. Let's have some fun and take a look at the grand finals of today's tournament. We have Charix with Kairos Chicken Weaver. So he's going to be throwing drumsticks all up in the Vampire Count's face with burning fire or blue fire spam. It's really good. Fire damage, magic damage, what's not to love. Double Changebringer, oh my god. So he's got double Flamethrower up in the sky. Core is going to be Marauders and Sour Guts, so his ground-based army is just very, very simplistic. But double Changebringer, man, that is heavy duty. That is heavy duty. Now, look at the hordes here of old Scrambled Egg Special. Scrambled Egg Special is, he's certainly up against it here. We do have 2 Hound units, so he's got double Direwolf. Front line's going to be Graveguard spam, so a lot of Graveguard and double Necromancer. So he's got double, dude, these Necromancers are going to be stroking those Forbidden Rods so violently. Okay, so a lot of magic going to be coming in. Yeah, nice, dude, nice. He's got 2 of those and a bunch of Graveguard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this party started. Up in the sky, we do have the Strigoi Ghoul King. He's a great duelist, but where are the Fellbats and the Vargeists? Because these guys are going to be, yeah, I agree with Outer Region in chat. These guys are going to be either just annihilate the vampires or they're going to get annihilated. There's not going to be too much in between. Gaze of Nagash going down from Count Chocula over here. He's going to be doing it. The Strigoi Lord, he's popping it. The Ghoul King, and, ooh, man, look at that value on that. That Gaze of Nagash. Charix almost dodged it. He almost got behind the tree line, but not quite. But wow, look at that. I did not think Gaze of Nagash would be so good there. But like, yeah, the vampires are kind of lacking the tools they need to deal with this right now. We do see like a partial little sputter go down there. And now the big shot's going to be going into the Sternsman there. And they're going to get cooked pretty good. And another one is going to get roasted as well. So far the Changebringers are doing very, very good. And we do see Furies being called in. And is Charix just going to cook this vampire army? We've seen Scrambled Egg Special on the back foot. We've seen him come back. We do see Fellbats being called out. But the problem is Fellbats do lose pretty badly to Chaos Furies. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Gaze of Fate and Double Flamers. Oh, God, no. Scrambled Egg. Oh, no. That's so much fire damage. But thankfully, he dodges a lot of it with his like stagger animation there. So he took it like a champ, all things considered. And there's going to be another Gaze of Nagash going down, I would imagine. But, God, man, he's getting roasted. Oh, my God. He's losing so much HP. Another Gaze does bring it down, and we do have the Vargeist going to war with the Chaos Furies here, but not before the Furies tear up those Fellbats. That feels pretty bad. Graveguard are going to want to move up in the points. I think if you're Scrambled Egg Special here, you need to get up in the points very quickly. Oops. Thought the game crashed there for a second, but he needs to move up. And it looks like Charix dropped from the game. Oh, no. Okay, that'll be a restart, because that'll be a restart with the same exact builds. Yeah, he had an internet crash. It's fine. All right. Well, it's actually not my call. It's Outer Region's call. It's his tournament, so it's up to you, Outer Region. You let him know what we're going to do. But yeah, to me, that looks like a restart. Because that was very early on. This is a Swiss cheese lord now. Yeah, that's very fortunate for the Vampire Counts. But, you know, again, Charix is the one who crashed, so he's lucky to get another chance. I know. Don't worry. We're gonna probably redo that. By God, stop the match. What are you going to do, Outer Region? You want to do a restart? Same armies and everything? Yeah, restart, same armies? Okay, great. I'll message him for you so you can just chill. Restart, same armies. And restart, same armies. Cool. All right, so I told the players, shout out to Outer Region for the admin call. And hopefully we don't have a crash this time. Game over. Scrambled Egg gets the W by DQ. No, that'd be so anticlimactic. That'd be freaking awful. That is a Swiss cheese lord now. It sure is. Yeah, but they have to bring the same armies. When you have a crash like that, you don't let them contour their builds. They need to come in with the same stuff, or else it's just OP. All right. Cool. So I told both players. No problemo. And outstanding. Let us get it going. Had him right where he wanted him, yeah. You know, to be fair, the Gaze of Nagash was doing good work. He almost had killed one of the flyers and he maybe could have healed, so it was still a contested game. It wasn't like over or anything, so yeah. And they know what the other people, both of them have the information, right? Like they both know what the other guy's using now, so. Let's see what goes differently. Sorry about that noise there, guys. There's a bottle of water exploding there. Pours egg to swap to Gorst. As punishment, Scrambled Egg has to use Helman Gorst. And he can't bring any flying units. He just has to get roasted by the Air Force of Tzeentch. Yeah, Tzeentch Air Force is very nasty. It's very, very good. Insta-bat summons? Oh, for sure. He's gonna, well, I mean, the first unit he did call out was a Vargeist, to be fair. So it's not like he's probably not going to change too much. Because the problem with Fellbats is they lose horribly to Furies. So it's not like the most viable counterplay per se. You know what I'm saying? I think Vampires just stay back a bit, keep it using Gaze to kill the Changebringers and then go in. Yeah. I mean, hell, man, you're one of the best players out there. I'll take your 2 cents on that. But also, I mean, like, I don't think there's any problem with moving the Graveguard up to the middle and just taking those objectives, because like he's going to be trying to snipe your air, right? So you could just move the Graveguard up and deny the 2-cap to Tzeentch. Would maybe be an idea. Yeah, Egg's going to be much more cautious now for sure. All right, round 2 fight. Where are these players from, by the way? I'm going to take a look. I know Charix is from Poland. Let's see where Scrambled Egg Special is from. I think he's in the United States. I think he's like East Coast or something. You know, a format I've always wanted to do is like a World Cup where we could run qualifiers for that. You still get demonetized for drawing tactical dongs. It's hit and miss. Sometimes if I draw a dong, I do get demonetized, but sometimes I don't. It's kind of hit and miss. And I don't know, like pretty much every time I draw a dong, I protest the demonetization, and they usually will lift the ban or the restriction. You know, I don't know. It's weird. I think the automated system just maybe picks it up. Like in, I don't know. Tzeentch Air Force versus Dowie Air Force? I don't know. Yeah, who would win that? Probably the Tzeentch one. I mean, if it's only Air Forces fighting, the Tzeentch would probably win it. When will YouTube's tyranny? You know, a lot of people give YouTube crap, but honestly, I'm super grateful for it. I love YouTube. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, man, I've like so many of my my close friends I've met have been through doing YouTube. You know, like I have a lot of friends who've gotten to various, you know, in their mid 30s and 40s, and you know, certainly don't make a lot of new friends, but you know, by doing YouTube, I feel like I just have so many homies to game with and chat with and stuff. It's great. How would the automatic stuff pick it up? I don't know. Well, it's a drawing, like the shape, right? It's a phallic shape, so maybe the dong detector. Yeah, hashtag free the dong. That's right. I'm so tempted to do one. Now I'm a little bit afraid now too, though. Yeah. Maybe it's the "that's what she said" jokes. I don't know. That's not bad, right? Come on. So we got 2 direwolves over here, and the rest of the army is going to be a bunch of Graveguard. We saw this with double Forbidden Rod and the Strigoi Ghoul King. So really a heavy infantry corps for Scrambled Egg looking to dominate the ground, but the Air Force is going to be the problem. Now the Tzeentch army is all about sniping and just you know, taking things out. And it looks like there's going to be a blue fire going on the Strigoi Ghoul King. He's going to try and dodge it, but that's a hard one to dodge. He just basically sits still and accepts his fate. Oh, but man, a lot of those missiles actually ended up missing him. Maybe he has like a smaller hitbox. Gaze him to Gash going down, so it's pretty much an identical start to last game. We're going to be seeing the flamethrowers coming into full effect. Honestly, you could cook these direwolves pretty easily, or yeah. Oh, he's going after the corpse cart. Oh, that's actually a really good start. I mean, if you can get this corpse cart crumbling and just take one of those out before the forbidden rods get stroked, you know, that's going to be pretty good. Yeah, so we see the Changebringers pulling back, and another blue fire going to be going down on the Strigoi Ghoul Lord. Probably might have been better on the Necromancer just to like finish off one target. But the bats are there, and yeah, a very similar start to what we saw last game. So yeah, it's great. You know, both players are getting value. The Lord is getting sniped a little bit. We see the corpse card and critical binding at -17, and Furies are being called in. Yeah, literally an identical start. Pretty much the case. So, yeah, we see the snare going down on the Vargeist, and now we're going to see the double flamethrower shooting it this time. So Charix adjusting his tactics as he shoots into the Vargeist, and I think that was a little bit better because it also cooks some Fellbats. There's going to be another Gaze and a Gash. Oh my god, is he trying to MLG block it with the Furies? Oh, he did, but it didn't work. Okay. Wow, but those Vargeist getting freaking cooked. Oh my god. Who wants some bat, dude? Those bats got cooked up by those flamethrowers. And now Scrambled Egg's going to have to, you know, figure out how to deal with this Air Force because he is completely at the mercy of these Changebringers right now. If Kairos had brought a regrowth, that would be so strong because he could just regrowth the Changebringers, you know, mitigate a lot of the damage. Another flamethrower attempt going down. Value is actually kind of even, though, which is strange. I don't know where the value trading is really coming from. We do get another Vargeist being called out. And that Necromancer, he didn't hear no bell. He's trying his best to hold on, sitting at 9 leadership. Blue fire going down. It does nail the Vargeist and the Strigoi. It's a little 2-for-1 right there. There's going to be a Tzeentch army ability going down on the Necromancer. Probably a little bit overkill, but it is what it is. Furies engaging against the Vargeist and doing really well. My god, that's such a good trade. I mean, I don't know who would even win that. Double Fury seems to win this fight. And there's going to be another Gaze and a Gash going down. It's going to be a Sidewinder. And wow, nice one. Okay, maybe going to get crumbling on those Changebringers. Not quite. Looks like they stay firm. So they're going to be cooking all the vampiric units. And at this point, Scrambled Egg basically just has to eat it. Dude, the Furies are dominating the Air Force fight. I did not think they would annihilate Vargheists that hard. I knew they would do good damage based on the, you know, the stats. But yeah, no, they just dominate that fight. That is pretty crushing. All right, so more flamethrower attacks on the Sternsmen. Sternsmen are very, very low, and these Graveguard are also quite damaged. The middle objective is owned by Tzeentch, but soon it's going to be flipping. Back objective owned by the Vampire Counts, and objective 1 is going to be owned by Tzeentch. And now Furies are going to battle with the Strigoi Ghoul King, and these Changebringers are feasting, and they're probably going to get unsummoned and then resummoned. Wait. Okay, for a second I saw 0 value. It was the wrong unit. And they're going to go after that other Necromancer, so there's no more Forbidden Rods for you here today. Yeah, Vargheists are definitely not good at the Air Force duel, unless they're fighting a large armored target. Like, Vargheists against Hippogriff Knights and things like that is pretty good, but against swarming units that have high DPS, it doesn't seem to be great. Man, another Necromancer biting the bullet. And it seems like the Tzeentch Air Force is just so dominant here. Oh my god. So Vargheists going to get netted. Kairo's coming in with the Knights of Immolation, so this is a cool fight right here. And this is actually not terrible for the Vargheists. You know, they have good AP, so they can give back a little bit. But with the chicken here, we're going to have to see how this one unfurls. Yeah, the Strigoi Ghoul King's trying to help out a little bit. Vargheists do get invo. They are on fire, if I'm not mistaken, though. So the healing is going to be mitigated. And the Infantry Corps here for the Vampire Counts is having a terrible time. And now we get Centaurs of Tzeentch being called in. A cheeky attempt here by Scrambled Egg Special. He tried to take the back objective, so we do see the Dire Wolves trying to get that point, but Centaurs and Furies able to shut that down pretty quickly. And up in the sky, Knights of Immolation as well as Kairos Fate Weaver with the Oracle of Eternity pops, giving him 44% ward save, able to win that fight in a very, very dominant fashion. Hopefully we don't have a crash here. It looks like we're fine. The point-blank shot, oh, that's pretty cool looking. Yeah, and those Vargheists do get roasted, and the Changebringers are going to be fleeing the scene. In the meantime, Knights of Immolation there are doing glorious battle with the Strigoi Lord, and it looks like the Strigoi Lord's going to be losing that fight. Although maybe if he gets a little bit of a reinforcement here, we'll have to see. Yeah, Vampire Infantry basically dead. We do get some Marauders moving in. Changebringers being unsummoned, and when they go back to the pool, they're going to be resummoned a little bit later on. Centaurs and company should be able to clean up the Dire Wolves. One of them is the Dire Pack, though. So Dire Pack is, you know, nibbling with slightly better stats, but Scrambled Egg knows that's over. That game is so over. GG, well played. Nice try, but that was what we like to call a build loss, which isn't as common in domination mode, but it still does happen. I think against Tzeentch, you have to lean super heavy into Air Force, and you need to go for the Von Karstein Lord. So I have seen Vampire Counts beat Tzeentch at a high level, have beaten this playstyle using a Von Karstein Vampire Lord, but that's pretty much the only way. One of the only ways, I think. Yeah, that was brutal. So GG, well played. Shout out to Charix, doing Poland proud with a fat W, and Scrambled Egg Special with some great Chad games today, coming in with more or less an underdog faction, getting to the finals and performing very well. Yeah. So we're going to take a look here. The Lord I think you need is going to be... I think Vampires have to do this. I don't know. GG, well played to both those players, though. That was pretty brutal. That Air Force of Tzeentch. The Knights of Immolation coming in and dominating as well. That was tough. All right, where are we? Tzeentch. No, not Tzeentch. Vampire Counts. I never play Vampire Counts, so I just like don't even know where they are on the army selection screen. You know when you're like, okay, I know Empire's top left, right? But yeah, you're there. Okay, so there's this Lord here. I think you need to go him. So you go with Vampire Lord, and you go Von Karstein, and he gets an ability called Storm of the Night, which does it does tornado and locks down air units and also does a ton of damage. So if you do Von Karstein Lord and then have a Necromancer with Gaze of Nagash on a Flying Steed or Spirit Leech, or you can go Von Karstein Lord with a Death Wizard as well, and you can Fate Abuna those guys, but probably, you know, Gaze of Nagash is better. I think you have to hard tech into, Storm of the Night. You have to hard tech into killing the Air Force, or else you're just going to lose. Yeah. And then, you know, you open up with something like, you know, maybe even a Goose, like a Terrorgeist, and like a couple Fellbats, and like a Vargheist, like something like this heavy. I'm talking about like this heavy duty to dominate the Air Force. And then maybe you're fine. But I think you really have to index into it. Anyways, guys, GG, well played. If you guys enjoyed that Warhammer stream, the Warham, drop a like on the way out. That helps quite a bit. It helps me gauge what you guys want to see. We'll be back with more Warham early next week, and, you know, Monday or Tuesday. Probably. And then that following weekend, we're going to be having a big old 5-hour-long faction war. So that should be quite a bit of fun. That's it for today. Adios. Do widzenia. Take care of yourselves. One last question from chat. It's been months. What are the tyrannical dominant factions? Kislev, Beastmen, and Wood Elves are pretty dominant in domination mode right now. But Land Battle's a very different beast. All right, guys. See you around. That's it for today. And until next time, my friends. Cheers.